Welcome to Nimmin Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today I'm answering your YouTube questions. So if you have a question about what it is that you are doing on YouTube, there is a form down in the description of this stream right now where you can put your questions in. And I cleared the form just a few minutes ago, so as of right now, we've just got a few questions in there. So if you want your question answered on the stream today, about what it is that you're doing on your YouTube channel, make sure that you go ahead and get your question in the form so that I can get it, answered for you right here on the show today. And in addition to that, as we get started, I do want to let you know if you are watching this on the replay, if you're listening to an audio version or whatever, make sure that you skip around a little bit because during these live streams, we talk about all kinds of different things. We talk about everything from growing your channel to burnout to making money to all kinds of pretty much everything that you deal with as a content creator in one form or another. It ends up coming out here during the live stream. So make sure that you skip around a little bit. Now, in addition to that, I do want to let you know that this stream is brought to you by Tubebuddy, which is the #1 tool for YouTube content creators. A lot of people think Tubebuddy is just a keyword explorer, but in reality, Tubebuddy actually has 90 different tools that will help you with your YouTube channel. So you can find more about Tubebuddy at tubebuddy.com/Nimmin. And if you actually go through that, that will also hook me up with an affiliate, or not with an affiliate link, but that is an affiliate link, and that will hook me up with a commission if you end up upgrading beyond their free plan once your channel grows and all of that. Now, in addition to that, this stream is co-sponsored by StreamYard, which is the live streaming platform that I use to live stream this show every single Saturday. Most Saturdays at 9 a.m. Eastern, but today we're coming in a little bit late. But basically with StreamYard, the reason that I use it is because it is a browser-based live streaming platform. And what that means is my computer can suck, which this computer that I'm using now for these live streams, it's actually not that great of a computer, and it's still able to run through StreamYard and still make everything look great and all of that. But more importantly, with StreamYard, they make it easy to bring on guests, easy to bring graphics like you can see right here on the screen right now, and a bunch of other features that will help you as a live streamer. So you can find out more about StreamYard at StreamYard.com. Now, with all of that out of the way, I just want to say what is going on. I hope that everybody is fantastic. Hope that you are excited for the live stream today. Definitely make sure that you get your notepads out because we are going to be sharing tons of YouTube related information. So if you're a YouTube content creator, there's a really good chance you're going to learn something today that's going to help you with your YouTube channel or something about what it is that you're doing on YouTube or in the world of content creation. So make sure that you have your notepads out because that's what is going down today. So as we get started here, the very first thing that I want to say is simply Andrew's Auto Repairs. Thank you for the super chat. It says, I have a question in the forum. I have to drive to work and I'll watch and listen to the replay. Love you guys. Thanks for helping everyone. Yeah, our pleasure. Glad that you are enjoying the information that comes out of the streams, man. And I appreciate the super chat as well. Now, look, here's the thing. I do want to, I've had a few comments in here talking about the new setup. This is absolutely a new setup. I've lost the projector as of right now. That doesn't mean that it's going to be, permanently gone, but as of right now, I just kind of reconfigured things. I want to talk about why I did that because that's information that you might be able to use as a content creator. So when I first moved into this place, and then we're going to get into the questions and all that stuff right here in a second, but when I first moved into this place, I was like, hey, I need to set this whole thing up so when I go live, everything looks awesome, right? And I accomplished that. The live stream, looked awesome and all of that. However, when it comes to the workflow side of things and just being productive and, all of that, the setup that I had in terms of where I was making videos at, I kind of had to hack everything together a little bit and I was kind of forcing myself to make it work, even though it wasn't, just a comfortable thing for me to do. So because of that, I was like, you know what? We're going to still have it, looking okay for the live streams, but we're also going to make sure that we have it to where we can prioritize, actually making content as well, because that, as we all know, is, the important thing. So because of that, I just pretty much redid everything. I moved the normal streaming desk to the back. I've got this set up here. I've got this monitor that kind of lays down in front of me so that I can see, everybody's chats and all that stuff right here, right below the camera, which is pretty awesome. And I've ordered a bigger desktop for this as well. It's not going to be here until like the 15th of next month though. But basically just to make this space a little bit bigger because right now it's just a tad bit tight. But outside of that though, I'm pretty happy with the layout. I think it's, turned out pretty cool so far. Minor adjustments I need to make. For example, this microphone, I'm actually going to put it on top and have it pointing down so that it doesn't interrupt the screen, that kind of stuff. But here's something that's really fun is now when I'm answering questions, and I'm going to test this while we're streaming today, and I hope my camera doesn't overheat, but while I'm answering questions, I'm actually going to just go ahead and just record, 4K, high quality HD for some of the questions, so that I can also use that for content elsewhere. So the idea is that, in addition to the normal, clips that we, clip out of these streams and all of that, this is also going to just help me be able to grab moments of information while we are streaming here as well. So we're going to see how it all works out. It could be a total disaster, and we don't know, but we're going to find out here later in the stream. We're going to find out. So, but anyway, that's what's going on with this whole thing. So if you're used to seeing the stream, that's what's up with the new setup. Plus, I like how my setup used to be at the old place. It used to be like this, to where, like I was coming at you, kind of like this. And I really like that angle when it comes to content. So because of that, I was like, hey, yeah, let's roll with this and just kind of see how it works out. So that's what's going on right now. So with all that out of the way, I'm just kind of giving you some, insights into what was going on there. But Renee Ritchie, thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. Says, hey, Nick, I asked about the thumbnail change limit. It's not meant of legit humans. We should never see it. But there's a bug where live streams are getting false positives. They're working on a fix. Oh, interesting. Thanks for the heads up on that. I appreciate it. And we'll definitely look into that a little bit more then. Yeah, thank you for that. How's my living? Super chat. Says, and really quick, can you guys hear that super chat thing coming through? I'm just curious. Just let me know if you can hear the sound effects coming through, because I like all this stuff is like a fresh setup, and it should be fine. But I'm just wanting to check and make sure. But how's my living? Says, so sometimes we get frustrated with our niche. Is it okay to make a video covering that? Do people react to that? Okay, it is coming through. Fantastic. Thank you. Let's see here. Do people react to that from typical happy hour lucky? So here's the thing. If you are getting frustrated with your niche, sure, you can make a video, just talking about your frustrations with the niche, but just keep in mind, like that type of content where you do, kind of walk down that negative path about the frustrations that you have with the niche and, things like that. If you start calling people out, things like that, it can create just kind of like a negative vibe with what it is that you're doing. So I would definitely just kind of tread lightly with that and just try not to be too, not vent too hard. Like, let people know what you think, but, just try, I wouldn't vent too hard with it, just because, like if you're wanting to use your YouTube channel in positive ways, then in that particular case, keeping things, relatively positive on the channel is definitely a win, because, what can happen is when somebody watches a video and everything all negative and you're frustrated and everybody's like, oh yeah, like the people that watch your videos, they're like, oh yeah, I can feel that frustration. That actually frustrates me too. And then you start, kind of putting bad out there, because then they start having those feelings and all that stuff as well. Instead of creating content, giving them an awesome experience and letting them enjoy the content and walk away with positive vibes instead of negative vibes. Right. So, of course, do your thing, but that's just the approach that I like to take, just trying to keep things positive, when possible, which is pretty much all the time. So, in addition to that, let's get into some questions. What do you guys think of that? You want to get into some questions now? So Turget the Tech Yard says, I love that you straighten the light tubes. Well, straight for us anyway. Yeah, I'm having some spacing things just based, like we have this like pillar over here in this corner, and that pillar forces me to kind of move one of them over a little bit more. So I'm still kind of troubleshooting that particular part of it, but for the most part, it's good to go though. But yeah, like I've straightened them up just for the sake of keeping them even right now, but I have no idea if those are going to stay there, if they're going to go away, if they're going to end up laying down sideways. Like I have no idea. We're just kind of playing by ear. SCB Wellbeing says, Sour Cream Boy says, my head is definitely lit more. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So basically, normally in the stream, because I had that big monitor, so I was catching a lot of light from that. So then now I had to, this light's the same, that light's the same, but I had to bring this other light that's over here into the picture in order to, to get myself lit, in order to get lit. So that's what's going on. Hey, Martin, hope you're doing great, man. Shark Scrapper, nice to see you in here. Mike's Auto Detailing, what's up, man? I hope that you're doing awesome. So as we keep on scrolling down this list here, I'm going to go ahead and get into some questions. And really quick, Mike's Auto Detailing says, I got 1,800 last night. I just want to say thank you for all of your help so far. Congratulations to you, Mike, for Mike Auto Detailing. High five and fist bump to you. Nice work for working that out and hitting 1,800 subscribers last night. All those milestones, right? Every time you cross like another 10, another 100, another 1,000, whatever the thing is, always exciting. Absolutely always exciting. So, so here, the next question that we have here, and then we're going to jump into the forum after this particular one. Actually, there's two that came in now. So we have Ghost Pirate Entertainment says, so it's been 4 months since I applied to be a partner and I still haven't received any reply. Any advice on what I can do? Absolutely. Make sure that you hop on Twitter and you at Team YouTube, and by doing that, they're going to, send you pretty much a canned response, and that canned response is going to tell you to fill out a form or to go to a particular page on their community forums and submit your information there. But basically, you want to tell them, so go to Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter account, just make one, and make it around your YouTube channel, but then you tweet at them at Team YouTube. Let them know what's going on. They will send you in the right direction. But in addition to that, just in case, they don't see that or something, you can also go to Google. If you go to Google and you type in YouTube community forums, and if you type in AdSense community forums, then what you're going to see is a YouTube community and an AdSense community. So I would also go in both of those places, and I would make your claim in those places as well, so that hopefully either somebody from Team YouTube will help you out or somebody in the community forums will help you out, because YouTube staff, looks at that. And in addition to that, by making the post in the AdSense community forums, then hopefully, one of the staff on that side of things, can also help you out. So those would be the avenues that I would take if I was trying to, figure out what the heck is going on. So let's see here. Next up, hey, what's up, Ash? Nice to see you in here, man. Hope that you're doing awesome. Brad, nice to see you here as well. Hope that you're having an awesome day. No, the studio is the same. I just kind of changed a few things here with the layout, moved the other thing to the back. Just basically, redid the whole setup here and minimized too. Because I used to have like 2 ATEM minis. One was actually under the desk, but now I just kind of switched it to one. My Stream Deck is currently gone. I'll probably bring that back, but as of right now, that's currently gone. The only things that I have now is just the ATEM mini and the Rodecaster. That's the only thing that I have here controlling the stream. And then of course I have this little monitor over here, and then I have my audio interface so that if I decide to record a video here while we're sitting here and while we're doing this live stream, then of course I'll be able to pick up the audio from my shotgun mic for that. So let's see here as we keep on going down this list. Let's go ahead. And hey, what's up, Chantel? Hope you're doing awesome. What's up, Doug? My man. Oop, wrong one. There we go, Doug. Hope you're doing great. So trainer James MTG says, hey, Nick, I hope all's well. Started my channel on November 1st, and I had my first video hit over 1,000 views with another on its way. Woo, woo. High five and fist bump to you for having your first video get 1,000 views. Now, I'm going to stop everything here for just a second. And I want to bring something to everybody's attention. So I know you guys, because you're hanging out here and, you're getting, the good information, right? I know that, a lot of you or most of you don't think this way. However, if you're in this stream right now, if you're hanging out here and you're one of the people that are like, hey, YouTube holds down small channels. YouTube, tries to, you have to have a lot of subscribers for YouTube to show your videos to people. You have to, wait a while before you start getting views on your videos, things like that. This right here from Trainer James is an example of somebody publishing their first video and already getting 1,000 views on that first video. Okay. So if he can do it, you can do it as well. So make sure that you're looking in your data, make sure that you're making the content the best that you possibly can, make sure that you are, making your thumbnails the best that you can, your titles the best that you can, you're coming up with topics that you are proving that people are interested in based on research that you do in order to prove that people are interested in those topics. So nice work, Trainer James, on your first video and your first 1,000 subscribers. Like, you're off to a great start, or your first 1,000 views. Sorry about that. You're off to a fantastic start. And good luck to you for the rest of the time on YouTube, for the rest of your YouTube career. So let's see here. So next up, we've got, when setting up a stream in StreamYard, how can I share the URL on community posts and Facebook groups? Hit 600 subscribers and 45,000 views this week. High five and fist bump to you. Nice work. So if you are setting up StreamYard, you can share the URL by simply going to the top of the screen and just copying that and then sharing it directly in your community feed. Now, just as a heads up, you can also do it on the invite link. If you're trying to get other people into the stream, then you can do it that way. But just keep in mind, there is a limit. I think the limit is 12 people as of right now that you can have on a stream at one time. It's either 10 or 12 that you can have on a StreamYard stream. I think we've maxed out here at 10 because that's just as many as we've had come on. But I think you might be able to do 12 now. But anyway, either 10 or 12, but just make sure that that those first 10 or 12 people are going to be the ones that that kind of secure those spots. But you can boot people and let other people in and that kind of stuff. But I just want to say it's pretty cool that you're going to invite other people into your streams too. Let's see here. So as we keep on going, What's up, Martin? Hope that you're doing awesome, man. Says, I'm using a VPN to move global location, join, buy, and sell groups in other countries to gift my digital product for Christmas. Nice. Afan Assam, what's up, man? Hope you're doing fantastic. Okay, so the first question that we have here in the forum, and this is another thing that we did new today. So typically in the forum, it was you go into the forum and then it's just kind of like the order that people come in, right? And what was happening and what's been happening for the past like 2 years is, like a lot of people would come, they'd get here early and they would just put their question in the forum and, they'll leave or whatever. But, we'd have a lot of the same people having the same questions there in the beginning. And because of that, I turned on the shuffle option for the question. So if you put your question in there now, if you put your question in there an hour from now, if you were the first person to put your question in there, it's basically just going to shuffle them and just present them to me as they come up. So that's pretty cool too. And it gives people, more of a chance to have their question answered just because YouTube or because this form is actually randomizing all the questions as they come in. Jelly Duck, thank you for being a member for 19 months. Super appreciated. I see your message right there with the hee. Super appreciated. So as we scroll down the chat here really quick, boom. Okay, so the very first question here is going to be from Fretboard Diaries. Fretboard Diaries, they upload 1 time per week or more. They've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. Really quick in the chat, let me know how long you've been in YouTube. If it's been 6 months, just say 6 months. If you've been on YouTube for, 5 years, say 5 years. If you just started today, just say today. But just let me know how long you've been on YouTube. But the type of channels, guitar lessons, demos, reviews, and tech. Goal of the channel is to grow a community, have fun, and eventually get monetized. The question, any ideas on how this could happen? I've had a couple of shorts never even make it to the shelf and fail miserably as shorts, only to get picked up a few weeks later as suggested videos and blow up that way. Also, do I get credit for watch time when the short is discovered through search or suggested? Yes. So if you have people coming in from search or suggested, those can be monetized in terms of people can see ads in front of them. If you're getting views from search and suggested for those, then everything counts, just like a normal video. The only difference is that it's in vertical format and it's a very short vertical format. So because of that, absolutely you can. Renee Ritchie says 18 months on this channel that he's been on YouTube, 3 years in total. We got Moses. I hope I'm saying that right. Says 2 years. We got Two Healing Hands. Says 2 years on and off. We got Jesus El Camino. Says we've been on the platform for an eternity. And we've got Moon Dust Reborn saying 1 year. We've got Alvy Cat Channel 4 years. All right, nice. We got a lot of good stuff in here. So the next question that we have here on the list. So we got that taken care of for the shorts there. Next thing we have here on the list is from Trainer James. Trainer James says that they do gaming for Magic, the Gathering Arena, and the goal of the channel is to entertain people, offer them new deck ideas on Magic Arena, and to make YouTube my full-time career. Question, I use a graphic to remind viewers to subscribe, but I don't say it verbally until the end of my videos. Should I be saying to like and subscribe at the start of my videos? No, you shouldn't. So you can, but basically when you are starting your videos, just give the viewers what they're coming in there for, right? Think of the viewer experience and try to focus them on hey, this is why you should be watching this video. Focus them on that because, the views and subscribe or the trying to get people to like, trying to get people to subscribe, those are calls to action and they're fantastic. And when you use those, they'll definitely increase the amount of likes and subscribes that you're getting. However, if you are just at that point in time with what it is that you're doing, that you're just trying to get people through your content, focus on that first. And then once you get really good at getting people to watch your content for a good period of time, that's when you go back and you start experimenting. Okay, let's see if I can start getting more likes. Let's start experimenting with my calls to action to get more likes. Let's start experimenting with how I ask people to subscribe or even asking people to subscribe during different parts of my videos. Let me try verbally. Let me try it with graphics. But focus first on just getting the ball rolling with getting people watching your videos for a fair amount of time. Once you do that and you get that down to where every time you put out a video, it does okay, then in that particular case, that's where you start experimenting with that sort of thing. Next up on our list here, let's see here. Speaking of which,
if you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
All right. So let's see. Our next question is from KDA Ligon. And KDA Ligon says that they do mobile reaction console gaming. The goal of the channel is 100 subscribers. The question, why is it that you tell us that our intros need to be 3 to 5 seconds long, but me and my friend Yo Supreme have videos with long intros that do really? Question mark. My next question is, how do I get used to using a camera on a console? Getting used to using a camera on a console, I'm not sure. In terms of like, I'm not sure if you mean like I want to like be more comfortable on camera, or you're trying to figure out how to actually hook it up. I'm not sure, so I'm not going to answer that part. But in terms of the intros, the reason that I tell you to do 3 to 5 seconds on your intros if you're going to use one is because you say that your intros are really long and that they do really well. So what I want you to do is, one, like high five yourself because you made a great intro that's going to be great for new viewers. But I guarantee you, as you start getting more viewers interacting with your channel, that you're going to start seeing people either skip that or you're going to start seeing people bail. Because right now, the goal of your channel is getting 100 subscribers. So you actually don't have enough data yet to like really get an idea of how your intros are actually doing. So because of that, you do have some information for the people that have interacted with your content, but just pay really close attention to it, because if you are looking at it on a video per video basis, it seems like a small drop, right? Like if you lose 1% or 2% or 5%, I've seen people lose 25 and more percent on just a short intro. But if you're losing, 5% of your viewership or 2% on a video, it's like, not a big deal. I lost 2% of viewers, don't care, right? It's not a big deal. However, when you scale that over, the next few years of putting out content on a regular basis, and you scale that out over 100 videos, 500 videos, 1,000 videos, depending on what your upload schedule is, that 2% all of a sudden becomes a really big number at scale. And since it becomes that really big number at scale, then what you've done is, by wanting to have that intro in there, you've created the situation to where you basically miss the opportunity to turn a lot of people into long-term viewers. So because of that, just make sure that if it's doing okay now, just make sure you continue to pay attention to it. Now, in fairness, the short ones, like 3 to 5 seconds, like those, even though you'll still typically see some kind of drop during those, they don't have like, a huge impact. But as soon as you start making the longer ones, that's where, your numbers really start going down during your intros. So just make sure that you're keeping an eye on it as you progress through time. Let's see here. Let me go up the chat here. I saw a super chat come in from Ron. So Ron Trains and Things. What's up, man? Hope that you're doing great. Says, hey, Nick, I suffered a back injury and was off 8 weeks trying to get started, but struggling. Please share your insights on restarting after time off, motivation, and mental health on YouTube. So Ron, man, I've got a back problem too. I've got a bulge disc, and man, it's really like, it sucks because it makes, I'm not sure what your back problem was, but like with my bulge disc, like sometimes when it's like fully inflamed, it makes me feel like I'm like 90 years old. It's when I'm 90, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that. I didn't even remotely close to feel what I'm feeling right now. But my issue, like when it's flared up, it makes me feel like I'm like 90 years old. So I'm first off, I'm just sorry to hear that you have any back problems whatsoever, because they suck. But outside of that, when trying to get back kind of into your groove of things and you're trying to get started again after time off, the very first thing is, of course, just getting back into the process of things. Because as you know, like when you just go through the actions of YouTube and you're paying attention and you're making those minor adjustments that you need to make as you progress, that if you just trust the process in terms of, I know how to make good videos, because you do, right? You've grown your channel. So it's like, you know how to make good content, you know what your audience wants from you, you know all of the stuff that goes into it. So what you need to do is just kind of hop back on the horse and just start working, the process of making content back into your lifestyle again, and just start, putting out content on a regular basis like you were doing before, and trust the process, because those actions, right, in terms of, I'm going to work the process of creating, uploading content to YouTube into my lifestyle, that, and just consistently publishing, those actions, since you already know how to make good content, those actions are the things that make everything kind of bounce back into place, right? So within that, you also have the motivational side, and that motivational side, especially in your case, you're similar to me, to where you've been on the platform for quite some time, and you make content about the same things. Not YouTube for people that aren't familiar with your channel, but you make content about trains. So because of that, or toy trains. So because of that, you are kind of you're just making like, hey, here I am in my, hobby that I do, and I'm constantly making videos around it, type of thing. So again, that's one of those things to where, like, just to give you reference, like this entire new setup, the reason I'm doing this is also for motivation on my side, just to be transparent, because, every time that I this is just how my brain works. every time that there's any type of roadblock in between me and actually, doing my thing, when that happens, then I have to put out extra energy mentally in order to go over that in order to do the thing. So in my case, I wasn't like comfortable how I've been making content for the past like 8 or 9 months. So because of that, I would be like, let's put it off. I'm not going to do it now because I got to clean everything over there and move everything out of the way. And you know what I mean? And it became like a chore. So because of that, I redid everything for the sake of just reducing that energy that I need to put out when it's time to make content. So now it's back to what it was like before in terms of turning on the lights, hitting like literally like 4 switches, and like everything's on, and I'm ready to rock and roll. So making sure that you're also setting yourself up in that way and removing those obstacles can also be really helpful for motivation for making content more. In addition to that, you have the motivational side and the mental health side. So when it comes to mental health, you already took a break, so that part's good. But when you are coming back into it, you might just pop right back into place. Like when you start publishing content, if your audience is like really primed and they love your stuff, there's a really good chance that you might just pop right back into place and everything, get right back on track. But if not, on the mental health side, don't beat yourself up over it. And again, lean back on the process, right? In terms of like, okay, I know because I've done it, right? Since you've grown your channel already, like I know because I've done it that in order to grow my channel and continue to, do this thing, that these are the actions that I need to take on a regular basis. Just lean into that and focus less on the actual numbers because you already know that you're making good content. You just have to go through that, that process of, more people, recently interacting with some of that new content and those sorts of things, so that, YouTube can continue to, show your content to the people that love it. Let's see here. So I'm going to keep on trucking down this list. We're going to hop back into the forum here in just a second. Savvy Turtle, what's up, man? Hope you're doing awesome. Says, hey, Nick, this is for Heidi. We know she loves your drink coffee music. Thanks for that. I appreciate it. Let's see here. So as we keep on going down this list, there's one more that came in. Okay, here it is. Will Star. Will Star says, thank you for the super chat, says, I gained 8,000 subscribers in the last 28 days and have several videos over 100,000 views now. Woo! Let's see here. I'm going to monetarily reinvest in my channel this month. Which editing software is the best that you recommend? So when it comes to video editing software, it's kind of like an intimate choice, right? Because it comes down to a handful of things. One, like what is it that you're actually doing with the content? What is it that you actually need? So I'm going to give you a few different options just so you have them available for you. So I'm not sure exactly what content that you're making, so I'm just going to give you a really short list here. So the very first on the list, if you're just getting started and you are like, hey, you already are editing, videos on a regular basis, but if you're getting started, you're like, hey, I just want something easy and I want it to be multifunctional. Like, I want it to be able to edit, record the screen, help me process my audio a little bit, things like that. In that case, I would go with Camtasia. But if you're like, hey, I want to do advanced stuff. I want to do like, advanced color grading. I want to be able to download all kinds of like plugins and things like that I can use that helps me with my workflow. Then in that particular case, that's where you want to go with something like Adobe Premiere. I actually recommend the entire Adobe Creative Suite. And the reason for that is because how, you kind of capture everything within Camtasia. With the Adobe Creative Suite, it's like that, but it's a whole suite of different products that are more on like the super pro level, right? So because of that, I would recommend that. Now with those things though, hey, Pie in the Sky Tours, hope you're doing awesome. But with those, with both of those though, they do come with price tags. Now, if you're wanting a free option, then in that particular case, you can go with DaVinci Resolve. Now, with DaVinci Resolve, it can be a little bit taxing on your computer, but it's free. So you can definitely experiment with DaVinci Resolve as well. Brian G. Johnson in the house. What's up, Brian G. Johnson, my man? Hope you're doing awesome, my dude. I miss Brian G. I feel like I haven't talked to Brian G in like forever. Hope you're doing awesome, my man. But if you're on a Mac, yeah, Final Cut Pro is also a good one. So a lot of YouTubers will use Premiere. A lot of YouTubers will do Final Cut Pro. So it just kind of depends on your actual use case, but hopefully one of those options will work out great for you. So as we keep on going through the list here, I should have recorded that one, actually. Let's see here. There's one more. Okay, Corky Duke.
Super chat.
Love your channel name. Says, howdy, I run a channel for gaming, mostly Bomber Crew, since March, and I had almost 20,000 people visit my channel, yet I only have 63 subs. What can I do to increase my subscribers? One, make sure that you're spreading awareness about your value proposition or what it is that you offer on your channel. What that is if you have a specific thing that you're doing on your channel, which you do, then in that particular case, letting people know that your entire channel is dedicated to that thing is a great way to spread awareness that not only this video that you're watching right now is something that you're going to enjoy, but all of my videos are something that you're going to enjoy. So because of that, just spreading that awareness about the, you having your entire channel based around that game is what you want to do. In addition to that, make sure you put that information in your channel art. Make sure you set up your channel art in a way that helps people find, or not your channel art, but your channel page in a way that helps people find your content easier. And in addition to that, the content easier part, that's not as important for actually getting subscribers. I mean, it kind of is, because if they watch more than one of your videos, they're more likely to subscribe and that whole thing. But at the end of the day, just spreading your value proposition in terms of letting them know exactly what it is that you are offering on the channel as a whole, not just that one video, can definitely help you increase your view to subscribe ratio. So I would start doing that right as soon as you can. I would also look in and see the videos that have driven, just to address one more thing here, I would also look and see the videos that have driven the subscribers, those 63 on the channel, and see the videos that are driving all of those 20,000 views. So if you have just like a few videos that are driving all of those views, and that's where your subscribers are coming from, then in that case, I would like make more of that content, because that's the stuff that people are responding to. All right. So really quick, since Brian G. Johnson is in the house and I need to step away for about 30 seconds here, I'm going to go ahead and play a little music video that Brian G. Johnson and I made a while back while I step away here for about 1 minute.
Check, check, 1, 2. I'm B to the G, it's easy to see what you need, it's attention from me. I'll give you the shout, get back on the grind and you'll be down for the count, trying to breathe. Your favorite is me, now you hate with the diss. All of that hair hanging there like a chick, man, give me a break. You're standing too close to the camera like Nick. Here's the claim that you say, Filmora is hate. Call me a thief for the titles you hate. I taught you to rank, you seem to forget it. I hit it and quit it, and you try to walk in my wake. I'm tossing you weight, giving you shine, giving you clout by doing this with my time. And what I'm about, why I'm your guide. You come from my console, but now you're denied. You wanna throw shade. It's too late, I already got it made. You wanna bring hate. Hit the road, hater, cause I'm not phased.
If you're messing with G, you're messing with me. The name is Nimmin, I'll bend in a knee. Disturbing the peace, I'll come back into battle and murder a beat. I heard you eat worms like a bird, like a tree. Just like these words of defeat, I think Feeny should draw you and make you a T. They're waiting on me, who's waiting on you? If it wasn't for Johnson, you wouldn't have views or a clue. You wouldn't know what to do. The only extremes I see is your food. This is just weak, yes, I mean to be rude. Change of your scene, technique, everything about you and the future you seek. It's bleak, I don't mean to allude to the fact that you racked up a debt with the best in this feud. You just got wrecked by the crew.
You wanna.
All right, so we are back. Yeah, that's always super fun. So I've got like a few more ideas. Who knows if they'll see the light of day? But I've got like a few ideas for some videos that I want to make just for taking a break. Just some like dorky, fun videos. Like one of them's like something along the lines, I can't remember what the instrumental's like, but basically the words are something like, I need to step away, I need to take a break, maybe coffee, maybe tea, either way, I hope you wait. That's the thing, but of course, once it's actually done, audio processed and, all of that stuff, and then some additional fun things added to that, that would buy me the time that I need to, like step away and use the bathroom or whatever it is that I have to do, really quick sometimes. So that's what's going on. But let's see here. So next question that we have here on our list, I'm going to jump into the form for this particular question here. And right out of the gate here in the forum, we have Simply Andrews Auto Repair. Says they upload one time per week or more. And the question is, how can I make content that can be for everyone? Because being a repair channel, I'm 90% search-based, and nobody just like you is going to watch a Honda GX 160 repair unless you have one. What would be some tips that you can give me to make a few videos pop so I can reach more people? So here's the thing, and we all run into this. When you have a niche audience, then you are serving that niche. So because of that, if you're wanting to reach like everybody, the way that you reach everybody is entertainment. So if you wanted to reach and you still don't reach everybody. So, for example, there's going to be people that are, in this chat right now that, that watch Star Wars. There's going to be people in this chat right now that loathe Star Wars. Not sure why they would be hanging out here, but there are those people probably. Same thing with, everything else that's, all the other different types of content out there. There's always groups of people that like it, groups of people that don't like it. So because of that, just embrace, what it is that you do. Now, some things that you can do is you can start thinking of, okay, what are some things that everybody has and how can I fix those so that I can get more traffic? So for example, in your case, doing the Honda GX160 repair, that locks you into people that are Honda GX160. However, if it's like how to fix a hole in a tire, anybody that drives has a tire. So then in that particular case, it opens you up to a much broader audience because now you're showing people how to fix a hole in a tire. Same exact thing with how to paint a, thing on the side of your house, or, how to choose the right paints, or, things like that. Then in that case, you're reaching anybody that is, painting their house instead of just repairing a specific object. So one kind of filter that you could run your content through is, what can I make in terms of just coming up with the ideas and then running those ideas through this is what content can I make that there's a very large percentage of people that could be dealing with this problem, and then start making content around those things. Like that's what I would recommend in that particular case. Let's see here. Normal Mode TV says, I love this chat and our defense of Star Wars. Oh, love it. Let's see here. So next up on our list, so DNK Vending says, what's the easiest free video editing software? I can't really speak for the easiest, but the free software that people typically but people typically rave about is DaVinci Resolve. Make sure you have a strong computer because you are probably going to need it with DaVinci Resolve. Let's see here. So as we keep on going, next one that we have here in the list is, great question there. Simply engine repair. So here's the Mahan Industries says, let's see here. What kind of channel do you have? Crafts and DIY using cardboard only. That's cool. You should check out Epic Cardboard Props, I think is the channel. They do similar stuff. You guys should do a collaboration. The goal of the channel says, because I love doing crafts and I want to share my skills on YouTube. Question, I'm a 13-year-old. I want to grow my YouTube channel. I do what you and other creators like Mr. Blank and Mr. Blake and vidIQ. How can I get more subscribers? And I want to build a website like you, and I just don't know how. So if you're wanting to build a website, a place to start is using templates of some kind. And with using templates, you can go to a website that has a full template, something like Wix or something like that. With those particular websites, you don't have as much control because you don't actually host the site yourself and, going in and messing around with the code and like moving files back and forth through FTP and all that. It's like a whole different thing with those. Or you can use a template through something like Theme Forest or one of those, types of sites to where you can download WordPress themes. And you can use something like WordPress, which is a CMS, content management system. And within that, you basically create a hosting account through somebody like GoDaddy or a bunch of, there's tons of different hosting accounts or hosting companies. But you create a hosting account, you upload, you install WordPress into it, then you upload that theme, and then you go through the process of customizing that theme, which does come with a learning curve. However, you're 13. You got time to learn. So I would take that approach, and then I would watch a ton of YouTube videos on how to customize. I would actually learn. If you're like serious about wanting to get into websites, I would watch some videos on like coding, and I would start to, educate yourself on that so that you can, get your website up and you can do customizations as you need to instead of having to hire out those customizations or spend, weeks trying to solve a problem. So, so that would be my recommendations to you. Let's see here as we keep on going. Deanna Charleston says, hey, Nick, I just want to say thank you for doing these. It helps keep me motivated and keeps me learning more about all this YouTube stuff. Diana, my pleasure. I'm glad that you are enjoying the content. Glad that you're enjoying the streams. Thank you for the kind words. So let's see here. As we keep on going, we got Whiskey Alpha Pilot. Whiskey Alpha Pilot says, let's see here. The type of channel is vlog, leading to info and guidance. And the goal of the channel is to increase followers and interactions. And the question, how important is it not to share content on social media? If you have an audience that is a good fit for your content, like for example, if you follow me on Twitter, which everybody here should be following me on Twitter, you should go there right now, as a matter of fact, and make sure you're following me on Twitter. Just go there and look for Nick Nimmin, and you'll see me pop up there. But you should follow me right now on Twitter. But basically, because of the people that follow me over there typically end up over there from my YouTube channel, if I share a video over there, then it's a great group of people that is a good fit for my content, right? However, if I had a Twitter account to where, let's say I did YouTube, plus I did some other things, plus I did, like some music stuff on there, things like that, and it wasn't really a focused audience, then in that case, that might not be the best place to share my content. So because of that, I would definitely say I'm going to share my stuff on social media, but I just need to make sure that the people that I'm sharing my content in front of are a good fit for my content. And the way that you think about that is you want to think about it from the perspective of, if somebody from my Twitter account or my Facebook group or my Facebook page or wherever it is, this Facebook group that I don't own, but I'm a part of, whatever the thing is, if you are thinking to yourself, should I share in this group or not? The answer to that is, if you think that the people in that group are a great candidate in terms of, if you think that they would respond to your content if it was presented to them on the homepage of YouTube, then that's a fine place to share it. If you find, or you think that like, these people probably not, like they're interested in these things, but I don't know if they're really if you start going through that process, then it's not a good place to share, right? So you just want to make sure that you are sharing in places to where the audience there is a good fit for your content. Now, YouTube, they'll tell you like, hey, just share, all over the place, because they want the traffic, right? Like they want the traffic coming in. They're not thinking about, your audience and, all of that good stuff. So I would just make sure that you're sharing to a primed audience, essentially. Hey, thanks for sharing the link there, Chantel. I appreciate it. So let's see here. So next up on our list here, we have, I need to scale this particular window down so I don't have to scroll as much on this side. Yeah, this is like my first stream in this setup, so like I'm noticing little things that I gotta fix along the way here. So let's see here. Normal Mode TV says that they do content bi-weekly. They do video game reviews. The goal of the channel is to eventually be able to make videos full time. And the question is, they say success leaves clues, but with game reviews, I can't review the same game again every couple of weeks. Any advice on using analytics to help me decide my next game? I would actually use trends to decide your next game instead of using your analytics. So if you are reviewing video games, and that's the whole premise of your YouTube channel, then in that case, you don't have to, review a specific game. You can review all games. So because of that, what I would do is I would go to trends.google.com and I would start putting in, the names of all these games. Let me show you something really quick. How can I do this here? Screen sharing. See, this is something that I haven't really thought of yet. I just caused a window to crash. Not sure what happened there. Let's see if we can do it again. Yeah, that one crashed too. We might have a whole thing go down. We're going to find out. That's what I mean about this computer not being that fantastic. So, so that's not actually going to load. It seems like the page that it was on, the whole thing seems to have crash it. Okay, and it's not closing. Okay, so there's an error. So let me try it over here. Let's see if I go to trends.google.com. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to share the screen here, and this is probably going to come out a little bit weird just because the size and, all of that good stuff, but I'm doing it anyway because I want you to know how to look for this stuff. So, okay, so here we go. So, okay, got it. Let's go ahead and get this into the stream, which is going to be kind of an interesting layout. So we'll go ahead and just kind of pull it across the board and make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, we're getting there. So what you want to do is you want to come to, again, it's trends.google.com. And while you're here, what you want to do is you want to do things like, I'm just going to put in Call of Duty, and we're just going to do that. I'm going to hit go. And then you see this compare option. I'm going to put in, let's say, Fortnite. Let's do another one. Let's say GTA 5. Let's do that. Give me another game. What are the games that we have? Let's do, anybody have a game that you want to do here? Let's do Need for Speed. I don't know if that's still Need for Speed. Okay. We'll just do this. Okay, so the way that you use this is you can see right out of the gate over the last 12 months, let me change this to worldwide. If you're reaching a worldwide audience, if you're targeting the US, for example, which I'm actually going to do in this case, just so you can see it specifically for this. So I'm going to target the United States, and I can see right out of the gate that Fortnite has a higher viewership, or just in terms of interest in general. Fortnite, it actually, had its peak and then it's slowly declining. However, it's still, people are looking for this a lot more than they are on the web, right? In Google, they're looking for this a lot more than they are, let's see here, Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto and Need for Speed. So because of that, you would think to yourself, like, okay, I need to review some different like Fortnite related things because there's more people, interested in that. Now, as we scroll down this particular page, for all you gamers, make sure you're paying attention to this. As you scroll down this particular page, again, this is currently set for the past 12 months, okay? We're going to adjust that here in a second. And again, this is for the internet. This is for the web, not the internet. This is for Google. So keep in mind that when you publish videos to YouTube, they can also show up in Google. So what you do next is you come down here and you can also see breakouts. So like Vanguard release date, Battlefield 2042, that kind of thing. And you can just kind of shift through the pages here, and you can see games that are breaking out based around the things that based around like Call of Duty, based around Fortnite, based around Grand Theft Auto, and you can put games in here. You can put mobile games, whatever you want up here at the top. But the next thing you want to do, because that helps you identify when it comes to Google specifically, the interest there. So the next thing you want to do, since you are uploading videos to YouTube, is you want to go into this, and you can see it's actually a much bigger difference here on YouTube, to where a lot more people are a lot more interested in Fortnite compared to the other games. So therefore, you would want to make sure that you're doing reviews on different things of Fortnite. So luckily, with Fortnite, they have different seasons and all of that. So that gives you the option to at least add this to your list as part of your regular content. I think actually tomorrow they're having an update. So when they have that update tomorrow, then you can go in there, be one of the first people that are in there, actually participating in it, and then make your review video Fortnite right there, so that as people are looking for that new release of, the season update, that you can, be one of the first people, or at least one of the people that reviewed that. Now, in addition to that, as we scroll down the page, you can also use this information for YouTube to be specific about different things. Like if you're a gamer, if you're not doing reviews, but you're just doing, like how-to content, or you're just doing different things with your game, then like right here, you see as one of the breakouts, but again, this is at 12 months, but you see one of the breakouts here is like Alien Artifacts Fortnite, $19 Fortnite card, how to get Superman in Fortnite. So by looking at these types of things, you can see exactly what people are interested in terms of the breakouts. Now, this is over the year, right? So of course you want to make sure that you bring this down to something recent. So of course you can go to past hour if you want, past 4 hours, past days, past 7 days. I'm going to put this to 7 days just for the sake of the showing you the reference here. But we can see right now that Fortnite's starting to get a spike, right? Because this update's coming up. So, people are looking around, I'm sure, over like right now, because this is probably what I'm going to do when I stop the stream today as well. They're looking around trying to get some like inside scoops on what's going on with Fortnite. So when you bring this down to like the last 7 days, or in this particular case, let's go last 4 hours, then you can see like, hey, this is something that's kind of climbing. It's actually starting to curve over right now, but this is going to spike. But you can use all of this information right here as a research tool. And this is free. Like everybody here can use this, right? This is 100% free. So you can use this as a way to help you identify, the right content to make around whatever game it is that you play. So as you can see here, if we look here, so we have Fortnite Battle Pass trailer. So remember how we just did this here for the past 4 hours, YouTube search. In the past 4 hours, there's been 1,000% breakout on, if you make Fortnite content, on Fortnite Battle Pass trailer. So if you do any type of reaction videos or anything like that, right now is where you should stop watching this live stream, and you should make a Fortnite Battle Pass trailer reaction video. If you make reaction, if you do those type of reaction videos on your channel, you should stop watching this stream right now, and you should take advantage of this opportunity, because there's 1,000% surge of people, interested in the Fortnite Battle Pass trailer. So a 7% in Fortnite Poland for whatever reason, Two Twins in Fortnite 300%. But anyway, as you keep flipping through this, it just gives you additional things that people are, digging into and wanting information on. So as a gamer, if you are doing reviews, if you're just trying to figure out like, games that you should be covering that you want to prove are popular, this is a great way to figure it out. Now, if we were to remove Fortnite, and we can see the other ones here, Grand Theft Auto, Need for Speed, and Call of Duty, then we can see here that next up on the list, since we removed Fortnite, now we have, Call of Duty, and we can see that that one is something that's more active. So whatever games that are in your wheelhouse that you think that you want to do reviews about or you want to make content about, like this is what you use to make sure that you're making content about stuff that's on the rise or at least consistent compared to things that are essentially falling off. So hopefully that answered your question, and I should have recorded that, but I wouldn't have been able to record the screen at the same time, so it's okay. So let me close this window and just kind of get situated here really quick. Okay, so we had some super chats come in, so I'm going to make sure that I get those addressed here really quick. Hey, thanks for that, Doug, saying the audio levels are good today. Some are saying super chat sound is too loud. We've got that one turned down. Okay, sounding good. So let's see here. So next up on our list, let me climb up this list here. And Easily Eggless, thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. I try because gaming is definitely, a huge part of YouTube. So I try to make sure that in the video content that I reference gaming from time to time, in the live streams, I try to, give you gamers, something, when I can, luckily there's enough of you in here that, that there's gaming specific questions that do come through in the chat and stuff, which is pretty cool, and that come through in the forum. So that allows me to be able to do, like what we just did, as well. So, definitely if you're a gamer, don't hide. And, the more that you can, ask questions, the more you help the gaming community as well by asking those questions. So let's see here. So I'm going to scroll up the page here just so I can pin some of these to the screen. So right here we have Manosphere Paradigm says, I serve a niche audience and I've tried collaborating with similar content creators with no luck. What do you have to get set up with collabs? So when you are trying to get set up with collaborations, when you're reaching out to people, you want to make sure that you're reaching out with a plan of some kind. So instead of just reaching out like, hey, you want to collab? Here's my channel. Instead of taking that approach, what you want to do is kind of sell it a little bit, right? And say to yourself, hey, I want to make this video, or I'm making this video about this particular topic, and I think you would be a great fit to work with me on this. My idea is that we make the video on this, that, and the other thing, and that we share this information and that information. We do these types of things. And again, I think you'd be a great fit for it. I've got a Google Doc set up here to where we're going to be talking about everything. That's where we'll actually flush out our video ideas, figure out our published dates, these types of things. But go ahead and have that Google Doc set up and all of that, and send that out so that when you are doing that outreach for collaborations, in that case, you're actually coming at it with a plan so that the person that's reading that can have an idea of what it is that you have in mind, instead of just asking randomly to collab. Now, in addition to that, a lot of people, when they start collaborating, will just shoot for the moon, which is a good approach, but they'll shoot for the moon in terms of like, hey, I'm going to reach out to these, larger channels and see if I can get some collaborations there. When you're doing that, a lot of the larger channels, they know, kind of what's going on in terms of you trying to grow your audience through the collaborations and hopefully leveraging them for that. And they know that. So because of that, definitely try to, shoot for the moon. And if they look at your channel and your channel's like set up right and your content's awesome and all that good stuff, then, you have an opportunity that you might be able to collaborate with some, larger channels. However, if you find that you're sending out all these emails and like nobody's responding to you, then bring it down a little bit and start trying to collaborate with others who are of a similar size as you are, because there's a lot more people looking for collaborations in that area. And the cool thing with that is by collaborating when you do have, like a smaller channel, or when you're trying to get the ball rolling, you actually create friendships and relationships through YouTube, to where as your channel grows and their channel grows, you actually have buddies along the way that you can reach out to when you see weird things in your stats, and you can compare stats, and you can, just kind of work together, and you can come up together as you are, going through your YouTube journey, so to speak. So hopefully that made sense. So let's see here. Next up, we've got that particular one. So there's another one that came up here, and I just want to make sure that that I get it taken care of here. Shark Scrapper says, Nick, I hit 5,000 subs just now. Nice work. High five, fist bump to you for your first 5,000 subscribers. And he's like, I mean, just now. Thank you for all your education, training, and introductions to the other great creator helpers like Brian G, Doug, Alberto, Roberto, vidIQ, Tubebuddies, and the list goes on. Yeah, my pleasure. Glad that you are, taking the information and doing something with it, right? So again, high five and fist bump to you for making it happen. Let's see here. So as we keep on going through the list, I love when those milestones come through. Absolutely love it. So as I keep on scrolling, I know there was more. I'm just kind of looking for them. So I'm just going to jump down to the bottom, and I'm going to use my other tool here to see if I see which ones I've missed. So I'm going to refresh this page here just to make sure I get them. And while I'm doing that, Fix Build Play, thank you for the super chat. Says, just wanted to thank you for what you do. Do it for us small YouTubers. I got 26 subscribers, 2,000 views in 2 months and growing. The grind is worth it. Enjoy life. Absolutely. Like the opportunity that's available for us as content creators on YouTube is just staggering. And if you're just getting started, you probably haven't had a great chance to see how staggering it is. But trust me, like once you get the ball rolling, the opportunities that are available to you because of your YouTube channel are absolutely incredible. You're going to absolutely love that part of being a content creator. So let's see here. So I'm going to scroll down this list here to make sure I got everybody taken care of. And let's see here. Started my channel November 1st. We got that. Setting up a stream. Let's see here. So Carrot Juice Podcast, thank you for the super chat. Says, I just want to say that I really appreciate your advice for my question last week. You mentioned Google Trends, and I've seen growth. I'm over 7,000 watch hours and need 60 subs to monetize. High five and fist bump to you for being that close to your monetization, being 7,000 hours of watch time behind you. Nice work on what it is that you are doing there. And it's cool to see that you're doing that with a podcast as well, because, podcasts are a little bit different than just normal video content on YouTube. So it's awesome to see that you're having that type of success with a podcast also. So let's see here. Will Star, we got that one taken care of. Corky, we got that one taken care of. Manosphere, we got that one taken care of. Okay, Fire Wine says, I've modeled my quiz channel after other successful channels, but my channel isn't growing. What should I do? Look in your analytics, because that's where everything is going to be. That's going to tell you why your channel isn't growing. So what you want to look for is the very first thing is your click-through rate compared to the amount of impressions that you're getting. The reason that you want to look at that is if you're getting a low amount of impressions and you have a low click-through rate, anything under like 8 or 10, if you have a low click-through rate with a low amount of impressions, then you want to start thinking of the actual topics that you're doing quizzes about, because that's going to make an impact. You want to think of your thumbnails, you want to think of your titles, because that's a fail point. Now, the next thing is, let's say you're getting people to click and you do have a higher click-through rate with a lower amount of impressions. If you find that people are losing interest when they're actually going into your videos, and you find that your audience retention reports are dropping off in a massive way when people are interacting with your content, then that means that you got to get to work on your video content. So because of that, look in your click-through rate compared to the amount of impressions. Also look at it coming from the different traffic sources, just so you can understand it better. And in addition to that, make sure that you're looking to see how people are responding in terms of your audience retention, to make sure that people are enjoying your videos as much as you hope that you want them to enjoy them. So just make sure that all of that is happening the way that you want. And if not, don't sweat it. Like, don't stress out about it. Don't be like, oh my gosh, my audience retention reports, people are leaving after a minute, or people are leaving after 30 seconds, whatever. Don't think of it as a big deal. Just look at it as like work that you have to do, right? So when you notice those types of things, then all you have to do is say, okay, this is a problem, so I need to make sure that I'm being active and taking action on trying to make that problem better and give people a better experience through my quiz content. So here, Fix Build Play, we got that one. And Beanie Draws says, is that new monitor in front of the Surface Studio 3? This is a Dell monitor, and I got this one. Funny story behind this monitor, and this is the monitor that he's talking about, because it lays down, like it literally touches, well, it almost touches the desk if I didn't have these cables going underneath it. But basically the reason I got this is I just happened to, I had this screen here right next to the camera. That's how I had it originally for the setup. But I went over to the studio, the other studio, for those of you that have been around for a while, I went over to the studio where Dee and I stream from. And I was just going over there to just kind of check on things, because Dee's not here. So he's not, clearly not going in there a lot. So I go over there, just randomly to check on things, make sure that everything's fine, make sure there's not like water leaking through the roof or anything crazy. And I walked in there, and he had one of these set up that he got for that particular setup, so that the camera would see, over the monitor and see him. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I need. So I ran to the mall and picked up one of these, but it's a Dell monitor. I'm not sure the model number, but it's a Dell monitor, and it allows me to go like really Like I can take it back even further to lay this thing down like quite a bit. I just bring it up a little though, just for the sake of, put it on this to make sure it's not too much. There we go. Just for the sake of, not having to look down as much when I'm streaming. Next question that we have here on this list. Hey, Mary Ann Vlog.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Welcome to the Nimminati. Make sure that next time that you get the chance, you go to nimminvip.com. That's going to redirect you to our members-only Facebook group. The reason that you want to go there and that you want to be in that Facebook group is because that is where I like look at people's channels, I give feedback, that kind of stuff. So if you're looking for that sort of thing, then definitely make sure that you join that group. If you do it sometime before the stream is over, then I'll be able to let you in as soon as the stream is complete today. Let's see here. There's Beanie's question, so I should be able to see these now as I'm scrolling down. Tech Mixer. My first video in a month hit 356 views in a month, and my second video hit 331 in 5 days, so I'm doing something right. If I change my keywords description after the fact, does it help or hurt the video? It can go either way. So basically, if you change your title, like the thing that makes the biggest difference is the actual title of the video and the topic of the video. So because of that, if you change your title, then that, can definitely have an impact. But going in and, modifying the description a little bit, maybe, it might help you in terms of like, Google search or something like that, because all of that information is I don't know if scraped is the right word, but basically it's all looked at. So, making those modifications, can be helpful, but the things that are worth putting the work into, like, going in and updating your description, not worth the work. Going in and updating your title, your thumbnail, totally worth the work, because that can make a video that's going like this go like this, or you got to be careful because it can also make a video that's going like this go like this as well. So so just make sure that you are taking the thing that's working and just trying to think like, okay, how can I make this better? How can I make it more clear? How can I make it more compelling before you make those changes? But instead of focusing on the description, I would focus on the actual title itself and or the thumbnail. But just keep in mind when it comes to your actual click-through rate that your topic is something that impacts it as well as your thumbnail and your title. Now, keep in mind, when it comes to your changing your description, your title, your thumbnail, that doesn't impact the actual content of the video. So because of that, like by changing those things, if the response to the video is the same, it might not cause, much of a difference either way. So in terms of like, even if the click-through rate goes up and the impressions go up, the entire performance of the video might not change that much if because the content itself is going to be the same. So just make sure that when you do make the change that you're also thinking about what happens when somebody actually gets into the content itself, because your topic, title, and thumbnail, they create an expectation from the outside. And based on how good that expectation is met when somebody clicks on the video can also help or hurt your audience retention overall. So just make sure that you're keeping that in mind when you're changing your title and thumbnail if you make that change. Let's see here as we keep on going down through this list. Next up here, what do we got? I thought there was one more, maybe two more. Yeah, we got like three more here on this list. Then we're going to jump back into the forum. And let's see here. Next up, what do we got? Savvy Turtle, thank you for the super sticker, my man. I appreciate it. Wicked Majesty says, can't find people to collab with doing same content. Interesting. Yeah, so I would definitely make sure that you do have that audience crossover so that you can make sure that when you are putting your, that when you are doing the collaborations, that you're keeping your audience, pure, so to speak, in terms of, that you are getting your content in front of people that actually care about your content. But I'm sure if you have a channel putting out some type of content, there's got to be somebody out there making your type of content. If not, then I would just double down and be like the channel that makes the type of content that you make, because surely there's an audience for it. Let's see here. And I think, let's see, we got Valerie coming up next here. We got Valerie Simon. And let's see here. I know it's here, Valerie. I see it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So Valerie Simon says, can we go over how the algorithm calculates our vids when we're just starting? How does it get shown to people if we have no views to prove anything to the algorithm? So basically what happens is YouTube is looking at your metadata, and they're looking at metadata is your thumbnail, technically. It's your title of your video. It's your video description. It's also your tags, which play a minimal role, but it does play a role. But it's also looking at the actual content itself. So what's happening is when you upload a video to YouTube and it's going through that processing part of the upload process, then what's happening is their system is basically reading your video, and it's basically trying to figure out who's a good fit for that particular video based on all the information that you give it, plus based on the content of the video. So that's why by the time that process is finished, you usually have the auto-generated captions that are available, because YouTube has actually watched your video. It knows all the different things that you say. And because of that, you can actually look in your captions to make sure that YouTube is actually understanding things the way that they were intended in your video, in terms of the specific words that they add during those auto captions, and make sure that you correct any mistakes. But in addition to that, the next thing that happens from that point is based on what YouTube is determining that your video is about, based on the information that you've given them through your title and your description. Man, I should have recorded this. But anyway, based on the information that you've given them through your title, description, and what it's determined through the actual video content itself, it then goes and looks on the platform for people who have recently interacted with content that makes the system think that, not think, but you know what I mean. It makes the system figure out, think, calculate, I don't know. But it basically makes the system identify that, okay, these people are a candidate for this particular video based on other content that they're watching around similar topics. Or as people start seeing that particular video show up on their homepage and seeing it next to other videos on YouTube, or maybe they see it in search, as people start clicking on it, then, right, the next step, once YouTube has identified who might be a good candidate for it, is when it starts showing it to those people, then based on how those people are clicking on it, is going to determine your click-through rate. And that's why you always hear me talking about click-through rate, or CTR, and making sure that you're paying attention to that based on the amount of impressions that you're getting. Now, since you're new, what an impression is an impression is when YouTube shows your content to somebody on the platform. That's it. So they need to have your content, your thumbnail needs to be fully in view, either on a phone, on a computer, TV, whatever. It needs to be fully in view for a second for them to count that as an impression. And as soon as that happens, if people choose to click on it or not, is going to determine your click-through rate. And if nobody's clicking on it, then YouTube will actually stop showing it to people, and they will start showing other content that has recently been published, or that they think, people would be a good candidate for, that is getting a response when they show it to people. So the next thing that happens is, let's say you get somebody to click. Then at that point in time, based on how that person interacts with your videos, in terms of how long they watch your video for, in terms of total watch time, in terms of your average percentage viewed, which is how much of your video people have completed, like what percent of your video have people completed. And, they're also tracking how many people made it to the end of this video. Once people made it to the end of the video, what did they do? Did they click on another video that you have in your end screen and watch more of your content? Did they click on something else in the sidebar and leave, or underneath the video or whatever? Did they close down the platform and just go do something else? Did they leave your video through an affiliate link and go get lost on Amazon somewhere, and you just ended that session? Like, what's going on? But basically, they're tracking all these things: how many people are liking, how many people are commenting, how many people are subscribing, how many people are disliking, all that stuff. But it's calculating all of these different things, and then based on all of those things that it's calculating as people are coming into your content and they're interacting with it, that's how the system is determining, the algorithm is determining how good your content is, essentially, and how good or competitive your content is for the platform. And because of that, the system identifies that people are clicking on this at a competitive rate for the platform, and they're enjoying the content at a competitive rate based on all the things that I just talked about, then if they're having a positive experience, they're going to keep giving you impressions. They're going to keep showing it to people. And then that creates a loop of sorts. And as long as people keep responding to it, then, you're going to keep getting views. Now, typically, just so you know, since you're new, when you publish a video, the peak time in terms of, YouTube testing that is usually the first 24 hours, then the first 48, then the first 7, then the first 28 days. That's usually where, they're really testing content out, and you'll get an inflated amount of impressions there while they're trying to find the right audience for it. Now, keep in mind, even if a video doesn't perform right out of the gate, it can come back to life later once YouTube does find that audience that does respond to it, because you will continue to get impressions from time to time as long as people are at least, interacting with it in some way. But the idea is that your job as a YouTube content creator is to figure out, for the content that you're making, for the type of content that you're making, for the audience that you're trying to reach, you need to figure out the right topics to make videos about that the audience that you're trying to reach will respond to. And then you need to learn over time. Some people can do this right away. Some people it takes some time to figure out. But you need to learn how to make thumbnails and titles and come up with topics in a way that people will respond to them in terms of a click. And then once they do that, then you have to learn how to, use your audience retention reports is what you want to look for. But you want to use your audience retention reports, which are in your YouTube analytics, to get an understanding of how people are interacting with what it is that you're doing. And you have and we're just going to keep going on this for 1 second, and then we'll continue. But basically, you have your relative audience retention and you have your absolute audience retention. So it defaults as absolute. And when you're looking in your audience retention reports, you want to make sure that you are looking at that first, because that shows you the fail points in your video. And then in addition to that, you also want to change that little drop down to relative so that you can just get a general idea of how your content is performing against similar content on the platform. So if you find that you're below average for everything, then that means you really got to roll up your sleeves and get to work in terms of making better content. If you find you're above average, then in that particular case, like you're on the right path. So then from that point, it could just be coming up with better video ideas, coming up with better ways to get people to click, and being more compelling with your content and all that good stuff. So hopefully that answered your question there, Valerie. So really quick, I'm going to drop a link in here for you, Valerie. Since you're just getting started, let's see here how YouTube works. So there is a page that YouTube put together called How YouTube Works. And being very specific to your question, I'm going to just scroll down to the bottom of the page here. And I'm going to just show you here on the screen just so you can have this. But the link I'm getting ready to share with you, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to scroll down to the bottom of the page. And since you're inquisitive about, can you tell me how the algorithm is calculating this stuff? If you come down to the very bottom of this page, you're going to see product features. If you pop open these product features, then the next thing that you're going to see is you're going to see them explaining how their system is, recommending content to people and things like that. So here they've got like signals used to recommend, the content. So like, for example, if we look here, our recommendation system is constantly evolving, learning every day from over 80 billion pieces of information we call signals. For example, your watch and search history, if enabled, channel subscription, clicks, watch time, survey responses, sharing, likes, and dislikes. Like all of these things are calculated. So in a nutshell, without spending too much time on this, I'm going to share this link in here, and I want you to just bookmark this. Of course, hang out in the stream, like don't leave, but bookmark this so that after the stream, or maybe open it in a new window or something, you can check that out so that you can just get a better understanding. And you can see it for search, you can see it for recommendation features as well. But just dig around on this page, and it's going to just give you more insight specifically into how the system works. Now, keep in mind that particular page is framed around a viewer, right? So it's framed around, okay, for a viewer on YouTube, this is how the system is recommending content to you. So what you want to do as a content creator is you want to look at that and be like, okay, this is how YouTube is figuring out what quality looks like. And you want to look at it through that lens instead of the lens of like, I'm a viewer interacting with YouTube. You want to look through it like, oh, this is how they're figuring out the content to serve to viewers. Now, another thing that I recommend you do as well, I have a video on my channel called How to Get Views on YouTube According to YouTube. You can just search for that if you want YouTube search. But if you look for how to get views on YouTube according to YouTube, I share tons of screenshots in that video from the YouTube Creator Academy, which you should go through. It's free. I've got a link to it in the description, and it's provided by YouTube. But screenshots from YouTube Creator Academy, Google help pages, YouTube help pages, and additional resources from YouTube, even stuff from your actual Creator Studio admin. But that video will give you a tons of insights as well in terms of what it takes for YouTube to show your content to a lot of people and for you to get more views on what it is that you're doing. So hopefully that helped. Let's see here. So next up, make sure I'm not sharing the screen. Okay. So our next question here comes from Tech Mixer. Says, also, my second video is over 18 minutes and has an average view duration of 24%, and there's a big spike at the very end. Are those good things? So an average view duration of 24% is actually not that fantastic. You might find that you need to make shorter videos if you're able to hold people for 24%. With that said, 24% of 18 minutes, it's like a decent amount of actual watch time itself, but you also want to increase the actual percentage viewed as well. So you might be making your videos longer than you need to. So I would just keep an eye on that. In terms terms of the big spike at the very end, that is a good thing, but that spike can be from either people skipping a majority of the video and just going straight to the conclusion. It can also be to where somebody might have shared your video out, or you might have shared a video out with the actual timestamp attached to it. That actually brings people in at that point in time. That can be another reason for a spike. So because of that, I would just pay attention, like depending on how your videos are performing. Like if you find that this particular video that's 18 minutes with the 24%, if you go into your relative audience retention, you see that you're like above average for everything, then in that case, you're fine. But I'm going to guess that you're probably going to be below average in a nice handful of places there. So if you do find that, then you might want to consider just testing. You might go back to 18-minute videos, but just testing like, hey, let me see if I make a 10-minute video, how long people will watch that one, and see if you can get that percentage viewed up. So let's see here. Ruth Wheeler's Kitchen Studio, my pleasure. I'm glad that you are enjoying the content. Little Crafty Nook, hope that you're doing great. Baking with Charlene, hope you're doing awesome. So Clement Treasure says, how can I change a new viewer to become a return viewer? So basically what you do there is it comes through, all of that comes through your, through the value that people get from your content, right? So when it comes to people wanting to subscribe to your YouTube channel, it ultimately comes down into the experience that they have with your content, and if they find that content valuable for them. And by valuable, it can be that they learned something from you. It can be that you change the way that they think about something. It can be that you taught them how to do something specifically. It can be that they're inspired by you. It can be that they're entertained by you. There's a bunch of different reasons that people will subscribe, and a bunch of different ways that we interpret value. However, people have to get value out of what it is that you're doing in order to subscribe. So you're going to see, a lot of people, like when a video first starts, they'll be like, hey, welcome to the video. Go ahead and leave a comment, give me a like, subscribe to the channel. And, they go through this big, long thing. But at the end of the day, they're forgetting the most important part, which is like create an awesome experience for the viewer, spread awareness somewhere in the video that you are making content like this on a regular basis, and invite that person to subscribe after you learn how to keep people watching for a fair amount of time. But basically by doing those things, what you are doing is you are creating the environment that makes somebody want to subscribe to what it is that you're doing, and they want to watch more. So at the end of the day, like there's not like a trick, right? Like, hey, this one trick will make people subscribe to your YouTube channel against their will. Like that doesn't exist. So because of that, you want to make sure that you're just thinking of it from the perspective of, okay, how can I add as much value as possible to the people that are watching my videos? How can I make everything it is that I'm doing, even if it's about me, how can I still make it about them? And if you can do that, and you can just focus really hard on doing that and just adding value through the content that you're making and learning how to get people to click on it, if you can do those things, you'll do fine. And you'll convert more of those people. CJ Linda, thanks. I'm not sure what that was in reference to, but thanks. I appreciate it. And hey, really quick, if you're enjoying the stream so far,
if you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
All right. So let's see here. So next up, I'm going to scroll down the page because I think we had just a couple more come in, and then we are going to jump back into the form here. Educate says, what do you think is the best way to accelerate the growth of a big educational channel, 500,000 subscribers? Any tips? Absolutely. So what you want to do is step one is you got to figure out the content that people respond to at the highest level. You can do that by, going in and just kind of sorting in your analytics. Other things that you can do if you have different pillars, like for example, if you since you're doing education, if you teach people about like these things, and these things as an example, then go ahead and start putting those into groups. If you're familiar with the grouping feature in your YouTube analytics, if not, all you have to do is go into your YouTube analytics, click into advanced mode, and then go up to your channel name. You can also click into compare over on the top right, but if you click on your channel name, then you're going to see an option there for it's going to pop up a little dialog box. And one of the tabs on the far right, is going to be groups. So you click into that, and then you can add a new group. And when you add a new group, you would name it like, let's say that you're teaching people, because I don't know what you do on your channel. So let's say that you're teaching people math is one of your pillars. Then in that case, you would say math videos. And then you would start adding, a nice set of your math videos there, all of them if you can. And then the next one would be, let's say that you're teaching people about science. Then in that case, you would have another group for science. And then let's say you had another one about health. Then that particular group would be another pillar, or that would be another group. And then what you can start doing from there is you can start to identify the actual content sets that people respond to most based on the goals of your channel. So for example, if you're like, hey, I'm trying to generate more ad revenue, then you'll be able to see which content type as a set generates more ad revenue or higher CPMs in general. You'll be able to see which ones get clicked on more, which ones typically get more impressions. You'll be able to see all of that stuff, which ones convert people into subscribers at a higher rate. Like you'll be able to see all of that based on, the different groups. So that's step one. Step two is if you've grown your channel to 500,000 subscribers, which you have, then in that case, you have clues all over your channel in terms of what it takes to accelerate things. So what you have to do is go into your content, make sure that you're doing the grouping thing that I'm talking about, but also you want to do additional groups, look for things like thumbnail patterns, like hey, these are all the thumbnails with these colors. These are all the thumbnails where we use words. These are all the thumbnails where we don't have words. We just use imagery. And then over time, you've got the content on your channel already. So you'll be able to quickly see like which versions of those people respond to more, but basically just rolling up your sleeves and digging into your analytics is going to be the answer. But in addition to that, also go in and on your most successful content, go in, the stuff that's gotten the most impressions. Oh, that was close. The stuff that's gotten the most impressions, the most views on it, most activities in general, go in and start digging those apart. So look at, the actual topic of those, look at your click-through rate compared to the impressions that you got so that you can start to establish a baseline of sorts or just like a standard of like what high performance looks like on your channel. So if you notice, hey, this video that we put out after about this many impressions, if it's a high performing piece of content, then typically it's got this many impressions on it. And once it has this many impressions, my click-through rate is typically this. But you can start using that as just a loose guide to start to be able to identify performance on a video as well. So you want to make sure that you're doing those things. In addition to that, you also want to take the content that is proven to perform on your channel that's done well already, and you want to rip the videos apart. So what you want to do is you want to go in, you want to look at exactly what it was that you were saying in the videos. You want to look at how you started the videos in terms of your intro, the hook that you used, exactly the structure that you took people through with that content, how you ended the videos. You want to look at your in-screen click-through rate and see like how many people made it to the end of this video, how many people are clicking on this compared to the lower performing content. And as soon as you start doing that and you start breaking down all of the information for all your performing content, it's going to start becoming really obvious why that content performed better in terms of the numbers than the other content. So then what you have to do is you have to say, okay, this is what the numbers look like in terms of what the performance looks like on the channel and what it actually takes numbers wise to make my content moon, so to speak. So then the next thing that you have to do is you have to say, okay, now let's start getting into the psychology of my viewers and start thinking like, why did people click? Why do I think that people clicked on this particular topic more than these other topics? Why do I think people clicked on this thumbnail and title way more than they clicked on the other ones? Why do I think that people watch this one for a longer period of time compared to the other ones? Why do I think people left this one earlier, why they skipped through these particular parts of the video? But anyway, you just want to start digging into those things. And then out of all of the theories that you come up with while doing that exercise, then you want to start testing those theories against new content on the channel until you find those things those theories that you figure out that those theories are either correct or wrong through the tests that you do with the additional content. So hopefully that helps. But like little things, man, like if you've got a channel with 500,000 subscribers, I'm guessing you have, at least a handful of videos that have done, pretty well. So like, I was working with a channel recently, and with them, like they just reached out and I was like, hey, I'll just give me access and I'll just go in and check it out. And, in that particular case, they're like, hey, my videos, they're just not doing that great right now. And we went in and looked, and they've got videos, like a bunch of videos on the channel with like, several million views and all that. And I went in and I showed them, like, this is why these videos did well. This is why these videos are not. Like, it's crystal clear when you go and you actually look at, at the data in terms of like, hey, these are getting clicked on literally like 10 times more than these other videos, even though like your retention's similar, that kind of stuff. Like these are getting clicked on like 10 times more than the content that's put out. And it's been crushed with impressions, which means that it's actually way better than the new content in terms of the click-through rate and stuff. So you want to make sure that you are digging in and you're looking for those sorts of things. Hopefully that helps. Let's see here. So as we keep on going through the list here, Stop Playing for Life.
Super chat.
Wrong one.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Welcome to the Nimminati. Make sure when you get the chance, you go to nimminvip.com. That's going to redirect you to our members-only Facebook group. Make sure you fill out all the information on the way in. Fill out the little Facebook form there, all the questions, because that's how I verify that you're a member after the stream. If you can do that before this stream is complete today, then I can get you in there as soon as the stream is complete. So let's see here.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
Next question.
Super chat.
Jimmy J says, I'm starting a channel and I'm hindered. I build a queue of private videos, then turn them public, or should I upload each one and make it live as I upload? So here's what you want to do. So if you have a series of videos already, if you've already made the content, just upload one video and then make sure that you're thinking about, okay, I'm going to be on YouTube for a long time. So what is a upload schedule that I can commit to, and start committing to that schedule. So upload your first video and then upload that second video within that schedule that you're going to keep, and just keep that process going, and just go ahead and get to a rhythm of creating content, optimizing that content, or uploading that content and optimizing and publishing that content to YouTube. Like, get into that rhythm and just keep rinsing and repeating that process. So instead of just flushing the system with a bunch of videos, instead of doing that, release them one at a time with a regular upload cadence. Viper in the house. What's up, my man? Hope that you're doing fantastic. Nice to see you in here. Hope that you're doing well, my friend. Magic Flying Potato says that PC on the floor behind Nick is a beast. It is. It absolutely is. It's custom. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, I'm not sure what all the specs are, but I lucked out because I'm in Thailand. So I lucked out and I got one of those graphic cards that are hard to get. I don't know if they still are, but it's like a 3080, I think it is, or a 3090. But yeah, like that particular graphics card in there, at the time, I don't know if it still is, but it was a really difficult thing to get. Let's see here. So next up, we've got Matthew Llewellyn. Hope I'm saying that right, Matthew. If I'm not, I apologize. Says, hey, Nick, I'm wondering about templates for merch, t-shirts, and stickers to post on the YouTube channel. So there's a website called placeit.net. If you go to placeit.net, they actually have template. There's two things that you're going to win here at Placeit. So one, they have free templates. You just have to make sure that you're looking for the free options. You'll see it by the little thing up in the corner. But if you want paid options, then you obviously are going to get a lot more options. But basically, if you go to placeit.net, they have templates for the actual merch itself, right? So you can actually download, you can customize the designs on the website. So you don't need like software or anything like that. You do everything on their site, and then you download the design, and then you can actually upload that design. They have a whole other section that is mock-ups. So you can actually upload that design to where you'll actually show it on like a bunch of different models actually wearing the design. And you can, download those to use them when you are, promoting your merch and all that. So go to placeit.net for both of those. I think I've got a link to Placeit in the description, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure that I do. I should. So that link is down there. So I've got an old play button. That's what you can see it right back. You can see it right back there. There it is. Yeah. So I have an old play button. Let's see here. So next up, Tech Mixer. Spike at the very end where there's a coming soon teaser. Also, this topic had to be 18. I cut it down from 30. It was an in-depth ISP showdown. Oh, okay. Let's see here. My pleasure, David. Hope that you're enjoying the content. I agree. Definitely, everybody make sure that you smush that like button. Andrew Can in the house. My man, I hope that you're doing fantastic. Thanks for being in the stream today. Just a quick heads up, and I like to, make sure that I let everybody know about this. Andrew is doing some awesome live streams over on his channel, awesome content over on his YouTube channel. Basically, he's breaking down, like thumbnails, like all this other stuff. So if you're a content creator, you should be following Andrew Can right now because he's putting out some great content over there for you about that. Just a heads up, he's also worked with like tons of like humongous YouTube channels, tons of small YouTube channels, and helped them get big. Like, he is extremely knowledgeable about YouTube. So make sure that you are checking him out. So let's see here as we keep on going down through this list. Wicked Majesty says, do you have a template to help pitch for collabs? I don't. But one thing that I can tell you is I do have a video about how to collaborate on YouTube. In that particular video, I talk about the specific things in terms of, setting up a Google Doc and how, you can share that Google Doc with them so that you guys can, share information back and forth, can put deadlines in there, that kind of stuff. But I actually, kind of take you through the process of outreach and the different tools that you use in order to, make the process easier and just more professional for everybody, uploading files back and forth, all of that stuff. Let's see here. So Real Estate in Espanol says, suggestions on how to go from lists to storytelling in educational videos. So a great example of this is I typically will do the list stuff on my stuff. And if you go to the Film Booth YouTube channel, he typically does story. So so if you just want to see the difference there, it's pretty clear. With the story side, it takes a lot more work, but the results can also be pretty substantial in terms of the difference that you'll get by doing story-related content. So if you can do that at a high level like Ed's doing, then it can work out great. So I definitely recommend that you just look at my content where I'll typically, just like talk to the camera and just give you advice, using B-roll and stuff like that, versus him to where he puts together like entire, short films for some of his content. And the content where he does that, it actually does, it does well. Let's see here. Go drink water. Absolutely, I will. Andrew Can always trying to keep me hydrated. That's how you know somebody's a friend, right? When they're checking on your hydration levels. Like, hey, dude, you got to drink some water. Lakshay Nieto, I hope I'm saying that correctly, says, I have a ton of free time right now and really want to accelerate the growth of my channel. Should I grind it out and post a video every day? So you can try it. But keep in mind that you don't want to just blanket content. You want to make sure that the content that you are putting out is content that is effective. So you don't want to just surge with content. You want to make sure that you're publishing, looking at your analytics, making any adjustments that you need, publish again, looking at your analytics, making any adjustments that you need, publish again, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So, so definitely increase your upload schedule if you have that free time, but you can also record a bunch of content, don't edit it yet, and then you go ahead and have that peace of mind of like, hey, I've got like 3 months worth of content in the queue. All I've got to do is pull it down, just take it off my hard drive and edit it out. So that would be the approach that I would take, and I would just stay with a consistent upload schedule. If it's every other day, if it's daily, if it's 3 times per week, whatever the thing is, but I would just make sure that I'm focusing on making sure that the content is being received as well as I would like it to before I go on like every day, doing daily content. Chris Rodriguez says, I usually have a lot of clips from my news podcast episode. Is it okay to upload like 8 videos in one day? Or what strategy should I use? Great question.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
So when it comes to YouTube, you can you have 3 notifications within a 24-hour period that you can use. 1 second. I'm going to hit that again.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
So you have 3 notifications within a 24-hour period. Therefore, if you want to make sure that your viewers are, or at least that you give yourself the opportunity to have people notified when you're publishing your content, then in that case, I would limit it to 3 per day if you're just going to be cranking out content. There we go. However, if you are getting enough content that you can publish 8 videos out of a day, in that particular case, then you can experiment with it. There's some channels that will publish, like 20 videos in a day and they do awesome. And then there's other channels that will publish, a video a day and they tank. So, and it goes both ways as well. There's people that'll publish 20 videos a day. All of them will tank, or most of them will tank because they're just like flushing, they're just putting out content out there, but it's not like great content. So then because of that, it ends up, not doing that well. So one thing that I would make sure that you're doing is just making sure that out of those 8 videos that you're putting your best content up there. And I wouldn't just be putting the content out there for the sake of putting it out there. But one thing that you can do is if you have a lot of clips from your podcast episodes, if you have your main podcast channel, you could test this on a new channel that is nothing but clips. Excuse me. You can test this on a channel that's nothing but clips. And by doing that, with that particular channel, you could put, like 4 videos a day over there and then do 3 videos per day on your main podcast channel, your podcast plus 2 videos or something like that. You could definitely try that approach as well, just to give yourself that opportunity to put out, a lot more content. So technically you could kind of spread it out instead of just flushing everything. However, that will come with extra workload and all that good stuff. So because of that, just keep in mind the thing about the notifications in terms of being limited to 3. But that's just for the notifications. So that doesn't mean that your content's not going to show up on a homepage. It doesn't mean that you're not going to, get suggested anywhere or anything like that. It just means that notifications are going to be limited with anything over 3. So just be mindful of that. Oh, let's see here. As we keep on going through this list, I think, nope, got one more. Says, Trainer James MTG says, I use TubeBuddy for the best SEO score, but my analytics show me that a large portion of my audience find me via browse. What's the difference between browse, search, external, etc.? Great question. So the difference between browse, search, and external, and we'll also throw suggested in there, is that when it comes to browse features, that is your subscription feed, or your viewers' subscription feed and home pages. So what that means is that you are able to grab people's attention. If most of your traffic's coming from browse, that means that you're really good at grabbing attention off the homepage and the subscription feed, which means that you're winning, right? That's the hardest thing to do. So because of that, you're definitely doing the right thing. Now, when it comes to suggested, the difference there is suggested is when YouTube is recommending your content next to other videos on the platform. So if somebody's watching a video, like if you're watching this live stream right now on a computer, for example, you'll see other videos on the sidebar to the right once you scroll down past your TubeBuddy. And then if you are on a mobile device, then of course they would be under it. But basically, that's what suggested traffic is. And when it comes to search, then of course that's if somebody's putting in, like how to grow your YouTube channel, and then they see this stream there, and you pull traffic from there, right? So YouTube search is the actual search results pages. Now, in addition to that, external is where you are getting views from off-site. So that can be social media, that can be your own website, that can be Pinterest, that can be, just anywhere off of YouTube that is bringing traffic into YouTube. That can also be like Google, for example, can be external traffic. So what you want to do is when it comes to the external, if you want to figure out the specifics of where that's coming from, then you want to basically, if you have your date range set on since published, then the link isn't there to click into. But if you change it to since uploaded, then you can actually click into external and you'll be able to see the specific places that you're getting external traffic from. So you might see a lot of Google there. You might see a lot of social media if people are sharing your content out a lot, things like that. Same exact thing with browse. If you click into the browse in that same area, then what you're going to see there is you're going to see home and subscriptions. So then that's going to show you, okay, on home pages, like this is the traffic that's coming from home pages, and then this is the traffic that's coming from the subscription feed. Hopefully that helps. So just a heads up too, another thing. So since you are getting a majority of your traffic from browse features, then in that case, another thing that I encourage you to do is go into your traffic sources for each video. And within those traffic sources, start looking at your average percentage viewed, start looking at your average view duration, start looking at your click-through rate coming from the specific traffic sources as well. And one of the things you're going to see is when you look at that block of information, you're going to see why you're getting more browse traffic, which is a really important thing to understand as a YouTuber. So basically, when you look at that, you're going to see that your click-through rate based on the amount of impressions that you're getting is higher. You're going to see that you're getting more impressions there because people are responding to your content better in terms of the click and the watch from that particular surface. Therefore, that's where you're pulling the most traffic from. So what you're going to find for all of us here, what you're going to find is the places where you perform best. That's where YouTube is going to show your content the most. So even though you might not necessarily be doing great off of a homepage, you might nail it in suggested traffic. And that might be where most of your traffic comes from. Or you might nail it in search, which is an extremely consistent traffic source, like long-term. So then in that particular case, if you are targeting YouTube search, then you'll find that, hey, I'm doing great in YouTube search because I'm targeting that, which means that I'm optimizing everything for search. And this is a little bit more advanced, but it's like I'm optimizing everything for YouTube search. Therefore, no wonder my stuff is doing better in YouTube search, right? So, so definitely get familiar with your traffic sources specifically as well. And this is a video that covers grouping on YouTube for anybody here that was interested in more information about that. Let's see here. So Truth Under Tension says intros versus outros. What's most effective and why? So basically, when you are thinking of an intro and outro in your YouTube video, the first thing that you want to think about is like what's necessary for the viewer. So what I mean by that is if you have an intro in your video, like, is it really necessary? Because as a content creator, we see other people, right? We see other people having these, logo intros and stuff like that. And it's like, hey, that looks cool and all this good stuff. But the thing is, for like a new viewer, that first experience is like, hey, this is kind of cool. But for returning people, you're going to see them skipping it. You're going to see people leaving during it and all that. So because of that, it's just important to think, like, is this something that's, that's needed for this video? And in some cases it is. Like in some cases, an intro makes a great transition or great segue into the content. So if you're like, hey, this is the hook, and then you drop an intro, then that creates just that perfect transition from the hook into the actual content. So in some cases, it can help or just kind of support the flow of the video. But if you can work around it and not have that, or just find a more creative way to add it, in terms of, instead of having a full screen logo that interrupts everything, just have a little logo intro that kind of, or a little logo that kind of pops up over in the corner, or maybe something that happens, maybe split screen while you're sitting there talking or showing whatever it is that you're doing in your videos, to where you have something happening over on the other side that's like, the channel logo, and then it's like, subscribe for more, Truth Under Tension, whatever type of content this actually is, subscribe for more, truth videos every, week, or, something like that. So you can have that sort of thing going split screen even if you wanted to. But the idea is to just think about it from the viewer perspective and try not to make it an interruptive thing if you can avoid it. For the outros. So the first thing you want to do is, before you use any finalizing language, and everybody here that's a new content creator, listen to this because this is really important. At the end of your videos, do not use any finalizing language. Do not let the viewer know that the video is coming to an end. Instead, before you use that language, things like, and that's how you XYZ. That's why I think XYZ. That's what happened on our trip to the mall. That's, like, before you start using that type of language in your videos, before you start letting the viewer know that the video has come to an end, you want to make sure that you have your end screen elements there to where they can actually click into other videos while you're going through that particular part as well. So make sure that you are doing that when it comes to the outro of your videos. Jan Games, hope you're doing awesome. Nice to see you in here. Video for Bosses, nice to see you here as well. Hope you're doing great. There's Viper. What's up, my dude? Hope you're doing great. Let's see here. So I'm just going to scroll down. Tech Mixer.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Welcome to the Nimminati. Make sure next time you get the chance, go to nimminvip.com. That's going to redirect you to our members-only Facebook group. Fill out all the questions on the way in, because that's how I verify that you are a channel member before I let you into the group. And if you can do that before the stream is complete, then I can get you in there as soon as the stream is finished today while we are in chill mode. So let's see here. As we keep on trucking through this list here, let's see here. Got to get into that Tube Ritual. Yeah, that Facebook group Tube Ritual is a fantastic Facebook group for YouTube content creators. Anybody interested in that? Let's see here. So Hybrid Steel says any of the 3000 series is hard to get a hold of. Okay, nice, good. What happened to the projector? Took it out for now. I don't know if it's going to stay out, but basically, as part of my update for my live streaming setup, I moved the main stuff back there, like my work stuff back there, and then I just kind of redid my setup here for the sake of, this is now called I named it, right? It's my content desk, so that I can I can live stream from here. I can just sit down here and make videos and all of that. Everything will look and feel kind of the same and all of that through both experiences, and it also just makes it easy to just hit a couple of buttons, turn everything on, and just go for it, instead of making it a little bit more complicated like I was doing before. So that's what's going on here. That's what's up. Oh yeah, so Chantel, thank you for putting that in there too. So yeah, so with that link for the person that I was recommending place it to, you can actually, with that particular link right there, you can actually save 15%. So yeah, thank you for that, Chantel. So let's see here, as we keep on going through this list here, we've got, I'm just refreshing this, make sure I got everybody taken care of here. Let me scroll down this page here. Okay, we got that. Do I have a template for that? Ton of free time. We covered that one. Okay, so next up, we've got SGT Mammoth says, I'm using a Fifine mic and using OBS. What software can I use to help my audio via plugin on OBS? So I know that you can route, and I'm not sure what system you're on, if you're on a Mac or a PC, but if you're on a Mac, you can use what's it called? Loop. Man, I mentioned this last stream too, and I forgot it already. But anyway, it's called Loop something, but it's a plugin that you can use to kind of route your audio around your system. And you can use that to kind of route your audio through like Adobe Audition, for example, to where you can just fully process the audio before it comes out the other side. You can do that sort of thing there. You can also do that on a PC, but you would have to use something like, what's it called? Audio cables or, man, what's the name of that? Yeah, I haven't messed with that stuff in quite some time, so that's why I use StreamYard, because I don't have to mess with that stuff. But Loopback is the one for Mac, so thank you for that, Chrissy Gamer. I appreciate it. And the one for PC, it is I want to say it's Audio Cables, but I don't think that's the name of it. Hopefully somebody will mention it here in the chat, so just make sure that you pay close attention to the chat there for that. But basically what happens is those plugins allow you to kind of route everything through. Now, there's also, I don't have it on this machine, but I have it on the other one. There's also a piece of software that that you can add through the virtual audio cables. I think that's it. Yes, thank you. So yeah, I think it's virtual audio cables is the one for PC that will allow you to be able to do that. And then there's also another recommendation here from Mr. Camera Junkie for Audio Hijack as well, and Voice Meter from the Artist Haven also. All of those things that we're listing out right now help you route your audio through your system. So what you would want to look for is you'd want to look for any type of voice processor. But basically with your, man, I wish I knew the name of the one. There's one that will actually like change your voice and stuff like that too, that you can use with OBS, but I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. So as we keep on going here, we are just going to continue down. And let's see here. So we got that one, and then we're going to the next one. Truth Under Tension says intros and outros. Why? So we got that one covered already. And as we keep on going down through this list, and I see one more here from Poop Scoops for Noobs. So let's see here, looking for that, and I'm just scrolling away here. And there it is. Boom. I teach others about how to start their own poop and scooping business. How do I know when my niche is too small? That is pretty niche, but I do want to. I want to share some insight for you. So basically, in my past life, pre-YouTube, pre-Thailand, before I moved over here, so we're talking like, I don't know, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, give or take. So I had a commercial cleaning service where we did like office buildings, and things like that. And it was a pretty cool business. But, basically we had that. And, as part of that, we were like, hey, let's get into the scooper business. And we actually had that as like an arm of what it was that we were doing, in the area that we were in. And we did that for a very short amount of time. Because what we did as part of that is we're like, hey, if we're going to hire other people to do this, let's go do it ourselves first, just to make sure it's something that we would want other people to do. And we did that. And then after a very short amount of time, we're like, yeah, we're you know, like we don't want to have, you know, somebody else doing that particular thing, just because there's, as you know, there's like gross aspects of it. But it can be lucrative. It can be very lucrative, but it's just, we ended up not actually doing that, for that reason, in terms of just continuing that on. But, in terms of like, how do you know when your niche is too small? That is definitely small. However, if it's for your business, and it's for generating leads for your business, if you teach people how to do that and you coach people through the process of starting that, then in that particular case, it doesn't matter if it's small, because you're trying to get in front of the right people. So what I would do if I was in your particular situation, you're trying to lead people into that, is I would actually target like the small business crowd. And if it was me in my channel, I would target the small business crowd, and I would just make that particular thing, since you have a program built around it, I'm guessing, and all of that, I would make that particular, topic something that you just talk about on a regular basis. So I would grow the channel around like small business ideas. So you're in front of that audience, people looking to start businesses and all of that. And then I would just introduce the pooper scooping business idea in your program, just like once a month, or, once every other month or something like that, so that you're just continually bringing that to people's attention for that particular thing. So that would be the approach that I would take. But in your particular case, if you have that business, you have that program, and all you're doing is just trying to use YouTube to leverage that, then I would make search optimized content that would be search optimized for YouTube, and that would be search optimized for Google, the other textual search engine as well. I would use, trends for this. I would use Tubebuddy for this to figure out, the right keywords to target and all that. But I would basically make just like a whole batch of search targeted content around people that are looking for starting a business, and I would try to lead them into the Pooper Scoopy business that way, and people that are just looking for general information around the Pooper Scooper business. But what I would do is I would have the content around the Pooper Scooper business, but I would also go broader and make content about starting a business and business ideas, that type of stuff, but have all of those videos leading into the Pooper Scoop business to where then you can introduce people to your program. That would be the approach that I would take. And really, if you do find that the audience is too small, another approach that you could take to bypass, like if you're doing this for business, you're not doing it because you're like, hey, I just want to make videos because I enjoy it and all that, then in that particular case, if you do find the niche is too small, but you want to do YouTube, I'd make YouTube about something else, and I would actually use YouTube advertising and Google advertising to actually make targeted ads and put those ads in front of other people's videos that are targeting people that are interested in small business and that type of thing. And I would actually target those very specific videos because you can do that in Google ads or YouTube ads. That would be the approach that I would take if you do find that niche is too small. Yoko's anime reactions.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Welcome to the Nimminati. Make sure that next time you get the chance, go to nimminvip.com. That is our members-only Facebook group. If you can do that before this stream is over today, then I can get you added to the group as soon as the stream is complete. That is nimminvip.com. All right. So let's see here. As we keep going down through this list, I just want to make sure that I think I'm caught up. So I'm just double checking here. So let's see. So, okay. So next up on our list, we're going to jump back into the form for this particular one. And in this one here in the form, and these are randomized too. So if you got a question, you can put it in the form, and there's a chance it might be the next question that we answer, or it might not get answered at all. But basically the form is now set to shuffle. So it's just shuffling the question. So it doesn't matter when it goes in there. It's just randomly presenting me the questions. Yoko's Anime says, I already sent the request. Perfect. So let's see here. Scrolling this down to the bottom. Okay. So the next question that we have on our list, this one's coming from the forum, and then we're going to hop into the chat as well for some more questions. But this one's a Vegas slots channel, and the type of channel is a slot machine play. And the goal of the channel is to become monetized and make this their mainstream of interest. And the question, can you give me suggestions of how to get more views and subscribers in my crowded niche? Is it very hard to compete with big channels? Or it is very hard to compete with big channels. It looks like it's very hard to compete with big channels, but it's not hard to compete with big channels. So here's the wonderful thing about YouTube that people will forget, or they just don't think about when they're getting started, is that YouTube shows your content on home pages just like it shows content of the big channels on home pages as well. The difference is when a larger channel publishes a video, that YouTube has enough data from their YouTube channel based on, all of the people that have interacted with their content, plus all the people that come and watch their content on a regular basis, that YouTube already knows the right people to show that content to, and the people that will respond to it. Like YouTube knows, out of those of you that are watching my content on a regular basis, YouTube knows that those of you that will come in and watch every video that I make, YouTube knows that. And you guys are the core people that YouTube shows my content to initially. And if you don't respond to it, then it ends up hurting me. So because of that, make sure you click and watch all my videos and watch them all the way to the end. But the idea there is that when you're just getting started, it seems like I can't compete with these big channels. But in reality, YouTube shows your content on home pages just like it shows their content, but it just might know the right people to show their content to, or those people might just be more en masse with those particular people. Therefore, they can get views faster than you can at the time of publish. However, that's at the time of publish. That doesn't mean that if you publish a video today and they publish a video today, that long term over the next 365 days, that doesn't mean that your video might not, or that doesn't mean that their video is still going to have more views on it. Your video, if you publish a video today and it's a high response piece of content in terms of it gets people to click at a high rate, gets people to watch at a longer view durations, high percentage viewed, you get people to the end of your video, they're clicking on your end screens, they're subscribing to your channel, adding your videos to playlists, they're doing all the stuff. If you can make all of that happen at a high rate, that is competitive with those other channels in terms of the metrics that they're getting, then you can compete right beside them. YouTube is going to keep showing your content to people just like it keeps showing their content to people. You can actually publish a video today, just like some of those larger channels, and you can, if your content's high response enough, you can actually outperform the videos of those channels. So here's a great example. I published a video a little bit outside of what I normally do. It's my most recent video on the channel. I published it not the last Friday, but the Friday before. And that particular video, it's a little bit outside of what I normally do. You guys didn't respond to it well, and that video it tanked, right? And if somebody else here, that's watching this live stream right now, if you would have published the same exact video, but that video was a better fit for your audience and your audience responded to it better, you would have dusted me on the same exact topic, even though I have 800,000 subscribers on my channel. So the idea that I'm trying to express here is it doesn't matter if you started your channel today or if you've been on YouTube for 10 years, it all comes down to how people respond to your content. If you want to compete, then you have to come to play. And that means that you have to spend the time learning, what it is that your audience responds to, what it is that they don't, but you have to go through that process of learning how to make the content good, learning how to get people to click on it, learning how to decide this is a good topic for my audience, this is not a good topic for my audience, experimenting with, with the content that you're putting out, all that good stuff. But basically the idea is that you have to learn those things in order to get a response. Once you learn those things, then you can compete with any channel on the platform. Of course, there are exceptions, like for example, if PewDiePie publishes a video today, it's going to take you a while to catch up, right? In terms of that initial response he's going to get. So there are situations like that. However, for everything else, like that's not that extreme, you can compete. For example, Renee Ritchie says, my best friend averages 600 views on her channel. She published a video on Wednesday that's done 400,000 views in 4 days. She just published a follow-up that's going to hit 100,000 views in 12 hours. 600 views on the channel. She averages 600 views on her videos. She published a high response piece of content, got 400,000 views in 4 days, right? So just for perspective there. So it's not it's not that you can't compete with the big channels. It's that you just have to learn the process of what you need to do to make a high response piece of content. Let's see here. So as we keep on scrolling down this list here, if you don't have a core audience yet, you actually do have a core audience. So if you have people interacting with your content, then you have those people are your core audience. So as you get going, initially, what's going to happen is YouTube is going to determine who the people are that it's going to show the content to based on your topic of your video and what it is that you're actually doing in the video. That's what it's going to do. It's going to use all that information to determine, just like it does with every video that everybody else publishes, it's going to use that information to determine who the system predicts is going to be the best fit for that. And then from there, if they click on it or not, that's going to be up to you. But in terms of the system predicting who the right people are for it, that happens in your very first video. Let's see here. So as we keep on scrolling down this list here, so I've had a couple more super chats come in. Let me refresh this page so I can address these really quick. Intros and outros. Hey, Christina Smallhorn in the house. What's up? Hope that you're doing awesome. Says, I just wanted to pop in real quick and wish you the happiest of holidays and a happy new year. Christina, happy holidays to you as well. And you also have a awesome new year. Stay safe out there. Enjoy your holiday. And have a happy new year. 2022 is going to be awesome. So looking forward to hopefully being able to see you next year. So that's what I'm looking forward to in 2022 is actually being able to travel and be able to see you. So hopefully I will get to connect with you in 2022. And next question that we have here is from Hizzy. Love your channel name. Super easy to remember. It says, what would you suggest when it comes to a channel name? Funny. I run educational science channel. Should I use the name I have now or change it to something else? So here's the thing when it comes to the channel name that you choose. I think Hizzy's a great name. Easy to say, easy to remember. The downside is that if you go to YouTube search and you type in Hizzy and then you sort, because you can click on filter, let's do it. Let's go ahead and do it live right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this up and I'm just going to go to youtube.com. I'm just going to go ahead and get this kind of primed up here. And I'm just going to show you, add to stream, and I'll make this a little bit bigger. This is what you want to do. If you have a YouTube channel name, you want to do this. And you're deciding like, hey, is this something that I should, commit to or not? So I'm going to go up here and I'm just going to type in Hizzy. Oops, did it wrong. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to type in Hizzy. and all of you should do this with your channel name. So right here, right out of the gate, we see that somebody does have this. I'm not sure if that's you or not, but I'm just going to click on filters and I'm going to go to channel. So here we've got Hizzy, J Hizzy. Here's you. That's you right here. Okay, so we've got Hizzy, 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 Hizzy. So we see a lot of people using this channel name. That's not a problem. It might seem like a problem right now, but it's not. Where it becomes a problem is this person right here, Hizzy with 3,000 subscribers. The reason this is a problem is because if we go up here, if he has youtube.com/Hizzy, then you want to find another name. But we're going to find out. Hizzy. See what happens. Boom. It's not that other person. It's actually this person with 1 subscriber that unfortunately has secured this channel name back before you needed to, have 100 subscribers and all that stuff to do it. So this is old school. They joined in March 2006. So this person has the URL. Since they have the URL, I would get rid of that channel name and I would go for something else that isn't already taken with the URL. Of course, you can do some fun stuff. Like you can add to the URL. You can do like, Hizzy YT or Hizzy Official, but do that same thing. Just go to YouTube search, check the other channels, and then go to youtube.com/whatever channel name you want, see if it's available on YouTube. Level that up by going to namechk.com and looking to see if that name is available on other social media platforms as well. Because here's the thing that I want you to think about, Hizzy, when it comes to your channel name and deciding on what name that you're going to use, is that right now, if you're just getting started on YouTube, which you are, because I just saw your channel, or I just saw it, in that list. So if you're just getting started on YouTube, you are in the process of growing an internet brand, right? Your approach is, okay, and like right now I'm starting a YouTube channel, but you are going to end up most likely with a TikTok account. You'll probably end up with an Instagram, based around your channel. You'll probably end up with whatever comes next. You'll probably end up, with like a, maybe like a website. You might end up with like a subreddit, those types of things. So because of that, go and make sure that whatever name it is that you want is also available on all of those other things, so that as you are starting your internet brand, you can go ahead and secure those social media accounts with that name, and any of the ones that allow you to actually secure the URL in terms of, the social media, platform / whatever your name is. For any of the ones that allow you to secure that, go ahead and secure it. And in addition to that, go get your domain name. So whatever you change your name to, whatever variation of Hizzy you end up making, or whatever you add to the end of it, go get Hizzy Official, if that's the thing, or whatever it is, like Mr. Hizzy. Yeah, like whatever the thing is, like go look at, you can go to like GoDaddy.com, DirectNick.com, Namecheap.com, InstantDomainSearch.com, and just go and see, is Hizzy Official or Mr. Hizzy or whatever your name is, or whatever you decide to go with, is that available as a .com? If it is, then you want to make sure that you get that too, because keep in mind, you're starting to grow your internet brand right now. You're taking those first steps. 5 years from now, a year from now, 6 months from now, you might be that dude to where people are like, hey, have you seen Hizzy? Have you seen Hizzy's channel? This dude's making crazy content. You got to check him out. And then people are going to be on Google looking for you. People are going to be on TikTok looking for you. They're going to be on YouTube looking for you. So you need to make sure that you secure those names, because when people are looking for you, if a shady person finds that you don't have that name secured, there's going to be jerks that are going to take that name and they're going to secure it and they're going to upload content to it, capitalizing on your name. So because of that, just make sure that you do that. Now, of course, you can go, you can trademark your name and all that to where it makes it easier to kind of take some of those accounts and all that. But at the end of the day, you're starting now. So since you're starting now, go ahead and just secure the names in the places that you can, because you are creating an internet brand. If you know it or not, everybody here, if you're starting a YouTube channel, you are creating a brand for the internet. Doc Cremundo,
Super chat.
any advice on making multilingual content, like adding subtitles, titles, and thumbs in a secondary language to increase your audience? So when you're speaking in the videos, speak in one language. When it comes to the thumbnails, so basically just kind of recap that idea. Make sure that every single video that you have on your YouTube channel, you're speaking the same language. The reason for that is if somebody subscribes to your YouTube channel, and I'm just going to use English just because most of the people here, everybody here, I guess, would speak some type of English. So because of that, If anybody in this chat were to go look at your YouTube channel and they watch a video in English, they're like, wow, this is the greatest video I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm subscribing, going to watch every video. The next video of yours they see, they go to your channel page, they click on something else and it's in Spanish and they don't speak Spanish, or it's in Russian, or it's in Thai or whatever. They click on that, they don't understand it, they're not going to subscribe to the channel, they're going to unsubscribe because it's like, oh, wait a minute. And then they click on another one, like maybe this one's English. Oh, nope, it's not. So then, so because of that, you create this problem. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you are speaking the same language. But in terms of your subtitles and titles and translating them, you can absolutely do that. But what you want to do is you want to look in your geographic demographics, and you want to customize all of that stuff based on the people that are currently interacting with your channel the most. So, subtitling your videos, making your titles in languages that make them more accessible for that audience. That's the approach that you want to take when you are putting that stuff, when you're putting that stuff together. Of course, if you wanted to get into another place, like let's say you want to, try to get more Spanish traffic, that kind of stuff, then of course, you can, translate everything for that. But keep in mind, when it comes to that, there are most likely a lot of other channels that are making similar content to yours that are in that default language that language that you're trying to get into. So I would do a little bit of research there as well also, just to make sure that you're not translating all of your stuff when they could just watch a video in that language, right? And I think, Printo Worldwide says advice to travel vloggers who have a 9-to-5 job. Well, if you have a 9-to-5 job, hopefully it's remote and it's going to allow you to travel. Because, one part of being a content creator is you have to think about the sustainability of what it is that you're doing. So because of that, let's go ahead and have that conversation. So if you are a YouTube content creator and you are a travel vlogger, but you're not traveling, then therefore you're not going to be able to sustainably upload content to your YouTube channel. So because of that, make sure that you're working remotely so that that's going to allow you to travel around so that you can create the content that you need in order to sustain the channel. If you have a 9-to-5 job that allows you to travel every month and that's when you go and do the thing, then in that case, that's perfectly fine. Make as much content during those travels as you possibly can to give you enough content to where you can either put out one epic travel video per month, or to where you can put out a really good travel video every single week or every other week. That would be the approach. That's a great answer to my question. Thank you. As always, such a wise answer. My pleasure. Glad that you're enjoying the content, Hizzy, and glad that you enjoyed that answer. Let's see here. Do you think having a 9-to-5 job and making YouTube videos simultaneously is worth it in terms of growth? Look, so I know tons of content creators that have full-time jobs or had full-time jobs, and they are huge benefits from having a YouTube channel. So one example that I'll give is Roger Wakefield, the expert plumber. His business, his 9-to-5 job, is he has a plumbing company that he runs, a very successful plumbing company, but he uses his YouTube channel to talk about, plumbing and things around plumbing and all that. But his YouTube channel has blown up. And because of that, YouTube has created an entirely new business for him in addition to the business that he already has. There's other people that have jobs, right? They have 9-to-5 jobs and they also upload content to YouTube. And by doing that, they've created a great side hustle for themselves and they still maintain their 9-to-5 job. So there's that. Now, in addition to that, and it's not just a side hustle. Like, when it comes to YouTube, it's not just money. Like the awesome things that come from being a YouTube content creator, if you can, get it all to work out, is that in addition to any additional money that you're going to generate from it, you also get to generate relationships through the people that are interacting with your content, because those people are people that are interested in the similar things that you are. So you get to create that. In addition to that, you also get to open all kinds of doors with all kinds of different companies around the type of content that you make, so that if you have a problem with a product or service, they hook you up. If they want you to test something, like you get previews of stuff before the rest of the world gets to see stuff, just because you have a YouTube channel. You get people sending you stuff. So if you have a YouTube channel as a hobby, people will send you stuff, right? Because you have a successful YouTube channel. They'll send you stuff like, hey, here's this thing. You don't have to make a video about it. We just want you to be using it because, we watch your channel, we love your channel, and we just want you to send you this thing because we love your content. And, this is our business. This is what we do. So this is our way of appreciating you and your content. And they'll just send you stuff, right? So there's that. In addition to that, there's also the, the authority side of things in terms of the additional opportunities that come. A good friend of mine, Alex Guberman, he has a YouTube channel called E for Electric. And basically with his YouTube channel, not only is it great in terms of, he gets ad revenue, he gets sponsorship revenue, that whole thing. But he also was hosting a car show, I think it was like the LA Auto Show or something like that. But he got to host that recently. And if he didn't have his YouTube channel, what would have happened is he either wouldn't have went to the event at all, or he would have just been an audience member. But instead, he was able to host part of the event. And since he was able to host part of the event, that opened up tons of doors for him to be able to network, because since he was a host, that also gave him additional access to people that he wouldn't have had access to. I mean, he would have because of his channel, but if he didn't have his channel, then he wouldn't have had access to all of the high level people in that industry that he has engulfed himself in. But that basically because of his YouTube channel, it's created that opportunity. In addition to just being able to travel, like because of his YouTube channel, he's been flown all over the world to look at exclusive like cars as they're coming out. So, like for example, he got flown to China to basically drive cars just so that, he could go back on his channel and give feedback on it. He's been flown to Germany so that he could drive cars and, give feedback on his channel. So it's crazy. All of the different opportunities that just come, out of all these crazy places that you don't think about. Like a lot of people will come onto YouTube and they'll just think like community, or they'll think money. And there's so much more. Like those things are awesome, but there's just so much more to all of this than might meet the eye when you're first getting into it. But in terms of, is it worth it? Man, I can't even put into words how worth it being a content creator is, and how worth it going through the process of figuring it all out. Going through that process, I can't even put into words how worth it is. It's risky though, right? Because you're putting in a lot of time, doing all that stuff. But you know what they say, with great risks can come great rewards. So there's that. So let's see here. As we keep on going through all of this here, you know what? I got to step away again, and I apologize for that. Hey, Chris Van Vliet, I apologize if I'm saying that last part correctly, but thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. Let's see here. So I have to step away here, but really quick before I do, I want to answer this question here from Video Bosses. It says, I rebranded my channel name, but still have the original URL. Can I change it? And if not, will having the old URL affect my channel growth? It won't affect your growth. But if you can get Video for Bosses, I definitely would. You can change that URL. So what you want to do is you can just go to YouTube, or not YouTube, but you can go to Google and just go, how to change, custom URL on YouTube. And that will lead you into a Google help page that will show you step by step exactly what it is that you need to do. So really quick, I'm going to go ahead and play my Brian G. Johnson diss track that we have here. It's a diss track that Brian G. Johnson and I made for our good friend Daniel Batal. And I'm going to play this. This is my have to use the bathroom because I'm drinking all this coffee and water song. So here goes. I'll be back in about 30 seconds.
Check, 1, 2. I'm B to the G, it's easy to see what you need, it's attention from me. I'll give you the shout, get back on the grind and you'll be down for the count, trying to breathe. Your favorite is me, now you hate with the diss. All of that hair hanging there like a chick, man give me a break. You're standing too close to the camera like Nick. Where's the claim that you say Filmora is hate? Call me a thief for the titles you hate. I taught you to rank, you seem to forget it. I hit it and quit it, and you try to walk in my wake. I'm tossing you weight, giving you shine, giving you clout by doing this with my time. And what I'm about, lying you guide, you come from my comfort but now you're denied. You wanna throw shade. It's too late, I already got it made. You wanna bring hate. Hit the road, hater, cause I'm not phased.
If you're messing with G, you're messing with me. The name is Nimmin, I'll bend in a knee. Disturbing the peace, I'll come back into battle and murder a beat. I heard you eat worms like a bird, like a tree. Just like these words of defeat. I think Feeny should draw you and make you a T. They're waiting on me, who's waiting on you? If it wasn't for Johnson, you wouldn't have views or a clue. You wouldn't know what to do. The only extremes I see is your food. This is just weak, yes, I mean to be rude. Change of your scene, technique, everything about you and the future you seek. It's bleak, I don't mean to allude to the fact that you racked up a debt with the best in this feud. You just got wrecked by the crew.
You wanna throw shade. It's too late.
All right. So we are back. I was actually back before my party even started, but I was like, hey, if I'm showing Brian on here, I gotta at least show myself goofing off too. I gotta be fair, right? I can't just like show him and like put him out there and then not show myself being silly as well. So, okay. So the next question that we have here on the list, I'm going to hop into the form for this particular one. And this question is from New Haven Rails. New Haven Rails says they do model trains. Goal of the channel is to document my model railroad layout build, plus provide my subscribers and others who watch my videos with how-to videos on building awesome craftsman kits. Question: I currently ask my viewers on the type of content they want to see. How often should I poll my viewers on my community page? On a regular basis. So here's the thing. You have your community tab. It's free to use it to get information about, the things that your viewers care about, the content that they want you to make, all of that stuff. So use it on a regular basis. You like any day that you're not publishing content, like feel free to use your community tab. That's what it's there for. In fact, it looks like because I have a poll right up here at the top, and it looks like let's see here, making content 24% in terms of the biggest struggle that you guys are having, growing the channel 63%, making money 13%. Okay, nice. So let's see here as we keep on going down. I'm just as a heads up, if you have a question and you want me to answer it, make sure you put a Q in front of it so I know it's for me and not a random question that you guys are asking each other in the chat. So Summit to Dragon says, how do you find the message you want to communicate, and what are you bringing to the audience, and what you are bringing to the audience? So first off, you just got to think about what you care about, right? Like at the end of the day, like if you're just starting YouTube, you don't have to know like, hey, this is the message that I want to get out there to try to change the world. Like it doesn't have to be, something like that. It can simply be like, hey, I enjoy playing this game and I just want to make content because I want to connect with other people that make this game. I don't have a message per se to share or anything like that. I just love this game and I just want to make this content because I want to connect with others that love this game. That's it. You can do that. That's perfectly fine. Like one thing when it comes to YouTube is, yes, absolutely, you can, have a big, epic meaning behind what it is that you're doing. But you can also not, and you can do perfectly fine. So, like if you're on a mission, YouTube is a great outlet to be able to get your word out if you have a message that you're trying to get out. But if you don't have, a message that you're trying to get out or something, deep that you're trying to share, like you don't have to come up with something. Like you just do your thing based around what it is that you care about. And like, that's it. And that's perfectly okay. So like, you don't have to be on a mission to change the world. You don't have to be on a mission to, make this like, big impact or anything like that. Like you can just be like, hey, I just want to connect with others that love what I love. Like, that's fine. Like, that's perfectly okay. But in terms of finding the message that you want to communicate, if you do want to leverage YouTube in that way, it comes down to thinking about what you care about, right? Like, what is it that you care about enough that you want to make content about it, that you want to, get the word out about that specific thing? Is it that you are, like me, for example, right? Like, the thing that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to empower content creators, right? Like I'm trying to help inspire you. Like I'm trying to teach you through the information, but that information is just one of the vehicles that I use to get in front of you to let you know that this stuff is hard and that you got to put in the work, but it's worth it. Right? That's essentially the message I'm trying to get out, and that you can use this stuff in terms of YouTube and your social media accounts and all that. You can use it for good. You can use it as a way to make an impact on the world as a whole, on, just individual groups of people or even one person. Like you can use it for that. So like my thing is that, this whole thing has just, changed my life in every possible way. So because of that, my whole mission with what it is that I do is I'm just trying to help as many of you as I possibly can get an understanding of what it is that you need to do here, so that hopefully you'll be one of the people that are, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, whatever the thing is, that you'll be one of those people that swing by the live chat and you're like, hey, Nick, man, I was watching your stuff and you said this particular thing. And, I just recently crossed 100,000 subscribers or 1 million subscribers, or you're like, whatever the thing is, like, that's what I want for you. Right. So that's the mission that I'm on with what it is that I'm doing. But for you though, You know, like, again, you don't have to have, you know, anything like that. And to be honest, when I first started, that wasn't what I was after. Like, when I first started, you know, like, YouTube for me was something that I started to originally just to generate email addresses. Like, that was why I started my YouTube channel. I wasn't making like YouTube help content when I started. My original thing was like, okay, I'm going to use this as a way to generate email addresses because I heard that YouTube is good for that. And like, that was the thing. I didn't even want to be on camera. Like, I had to push myself past even being on camera. So that's what it started at, but my message and my purpose, so to speak, actually evolved out of that and out of leaving this channel, working on another channel for a while, coming back to this channel again. Like, that entire thing that I went through there, completely burned out just on making content and doing the whole thing, and had to make some big choices on like which direction I was going to go and all that good stuff. But basically, like, that whole thing and that whole experience is what actually like put me in the place of like, okay, now I get an understanding of like how this stuff works. Now, you know, now I can start, you know, helping other people, you know, trying to figure this stuff out and all of that. So, but okay, let's keep on going here. Get some more questions out. Roberto Blake in the house. What's up, my man? Hope that you're doing great. Nice to see you in here. Roberto Blake, the Sith Lord of YouTube. And we'll just call him Sith Lord of like everything. But Roberto Blake, nice to see you in here, my man. Says, doing YouTube with a full-time job is just about being willing to give up the other things that you do outside of work. Worst case, you waste time anyway. Best case, you get to live the American dream, or the dream of whatever country it is that you happen to be in. Like, you know, like as the best case scenario, you get to do the thing, right? And as a worst case scenario, you get to learn a ton of new skills that you can leverage, you know, in the future at some time or whatever. And you gave it your go. If you can't figure it out, or if it just ends up not being for you, then, you know, in that case, you gave it your all, and you know it, right? And you know if you're giving your all or not. Everybody here, like, we all know it. Like, you know when you're giving your all, you know when you're not. So you know, you have to do that. Omar, I'm doing great, man. Hope that you are also doing awesome. Thanks for being in the stream today. Mark Lewis says, my biggest problem is that I'm not good on a computer. Okay, here's what you need to do, Mark. If you're not good on a computer, more importantly than being good on a computer, you need to learn how to edit videos and all of that. So you can do a lot of this stuff on your phone. You don't have to be good on a computer. You just have to be able to learn how to use apps on your phone. Phone apps are usually more intuitive than video editing software on a computer. So if you have problems on a computer, I would actually try to do things on your phone or a tablet and see if you can actually learn how to do it that way, because the learning curve seems to be smaller on mobile devices. However, it's a pain because you got to do everything with your thumbs and all that. But it's definitely a way that you can do it without the computer. Now, in addition to that, if you currently have the biggest problem that you're not good on a computer, then you're currently identifying as somebody that, you know, has those problems on a computer. So right away, the first thing that you need to do is change it from my biggest problem is that I'm not good on a computer to my biggest problem is that it's going to take me a little bit of time to learn how to be a lot better on the computer. So I'm going to commit to that time, and I'm going to commit to learning how to be better on a computer. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to go to YouTube and Google. I'm going to have those open all the time. And as I'm trying to learn how to do stuff on the computer, anytime that I can't figure it out, I'm going to go to either YouTube search or Google search, and I'm going to start typing in, how do I XYZ? And then you're going to watch videos. You're going to see Google results on how to figure out all those little things. And in that particular case, what's going to end up happening is you're going to learn how to do the things that you need to do in order to get the things done that you're trying to get done. So that doesn't mean you're going to learn everything about a computer. It means that you're going to learn the most important things that are going to help you learn how to do what it is that you're trying to do. Okay, so that's what you need to do, Mark. So let's see here. Next up, we've got, I'm just going to scroll down here to the bottom. It's probably going to be a more efficient way to do this here. Okay, go down there. No, I'm going to go into the mission control here and see what we got here. This will be much easier. Okay. So let's see here. T said what T said.
Super chat.
Says, I need a twerking emoji. That diss track is fire. Hey, if anybody here knows how to make emojis, we need a twerking one that we can drop in the chat here. Just like Scully's House of Thrillers, just put that little icon there with my face on it. We need a little twerker in here. So if somebody can make that, I'll upload it in here to the members area. If you can make me a little twerker into the members emojis. So let's see here. Next question that we have, David Matney. Thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. So the next question that we have here is, I want to use my voice, but I'm kind of shy. Is there any fix to this? So, like I mentioned just a few minutes ago, when it comes to making content, like I didn't want to be that person on camera either. I had to go through this whole process in my brain to get over like just doing the thing in the first place. And part of that was actually making a video about how to do it. But basically that video was just kind of explaining like, okay, this is, this is what I had to go through in order to overcome it. But basically when content creators first start out, if you are like an introverted person or you're just a shy person in general, then right out of the gate, you're probably going to run into a similar thing to where it's like, man, I don't want to be on camera, or like I'm shy with my voice or whatever. But, a lot of that will come from the fear of judgment of like, hey, what if people start saying bad things about my voice? What if people say bad things about my appearance or how I'm doing things or whatever? A lot of that will come from that. So the first thing is, of course, you have to accept that you are putting stuff on the internet. And when you're putting stuff on the internet, there's going to be people that like it. There's going to be people that don't like it. And you don't like when people don't like it, you want to take that feedback, but you have to understand that, that you're not making things for everybody. You're making, content for the people that will enjoy it. So make sure that you do that first. Second, you want to also think about when you are hearing your voice, when you put it in through a microphone and then it ends up in your computer, your camera, or whatever, you're hearing your voice in a different way than you hear it when it's coming out of your own head. And because of that, it sounds a little bit weird. And just understand that everybody has that happen, right? Like we all, like everybody, like it sounds different for all of us. So because of that, the best thing that you can do is just practice making content, getting your voice, and hearing your voice back, in different ways, through whatever it is that you're doing, so that you can just get used to hearing it, because you're shy with your voice, but just keep in mind that everybody's going to hear your voice in your videos just like they hear it in normal life. So when you're interacting with your family, it's the same voice they hear. When you're interacting with your friends, it's the same voice they hear. When you're on like Zoom calls and stuff for work, it's the same voice that those people are hearing. So, just think of it from that perspective. And the only reason that it's weird right now is because you're hearing it outside of your head. You're hearing it played back, right? And you're not hearing it in real time either. You're hearing it played back through something else. So it sounds a little bit weird. It's not what you're used to, but just keep practicing, keep doing it, and you'll get right over that. So let's see here as we keep on going through the list. How can I record my screen when I make a video and I want to be able to show how to find something or do something for my audience, something besides the gaming one that's free on Windows 10? Camtasia. You need Camtasia. So I have a Camtasia link down in my description. So basically, here's what Camtasia can do. Camtasia is a screen recorder, but it's also a video editor, and it will help you process your audio. So it'll help you make your voice sound better. It'll help you record your screen, which is exactly what you're trying to do. And you can actually edit it all together within Camtasia. So I have a link to them down in the description. If you use that link, it'll save you 10% on Camtasia. It is a paid software, but it is the best screen recording software that you're going to find. It allows you, like, is what I've been using them since 2014. It allows you to like zoom in on the areas of the video that you're trying to focus on. You can add cursor highlights to where, like when you're moving your mouse around the screen, you can just drag and drop a cursor highlight onto it, and then it puts like a color behind your cursor where it's real easy to follow. You can blur stuff out if you need to. You can it's extremely robust in terms of all of the things that it can do for you. So I can't recommend it enough. I would definitely try Camtasia. In fact, I even have, let me see here. Yeah, from when they first came onto my channel as a sponsor, and again, like that's a new thing because I've been using them since 2014. I mentioned them twice in my first 5 videos on my YouTube channel, but I'm just gonna play this little thing right here, which was actually my welcome video when they first came onto the channel as a sponsor. I'm gonna play that for you as well, just to give you a little bit more insight on Camtasia. So you might be asking yourself, Nick, what is Camtasia? Camtasia is a video editing and screen recording software. If you've watched my videos, you've seen me record the screen where I zoom in and out, add cursor effects to keep people focused on the thing that I want them to look at and so on. Camtasia is what I used to do that. I've been using it since 2014. You can edit videos with it, you can screen capture with it, you can do voiceovers with it, you can add graphics to it, and the best part, it's really easy to use. You can try it for yourself by typing Camtasia.com into your browser, or you can follow the link in the description of this stream. They have a free trial, so you can experiment with it and see how cool it is. There you go. And I think I accidentally clicked it again. Nope. Okay, we're good. Okay. So anyway, yeah, try that out. That's the solution that you're looking for. So let's see here. So as we keep on going down here, hey, you made a live stream. Nice to see you here, A+ Russian. Let's see, as we keep on scrolling through this list here. Let's see. That one's for Drew. I'm just looking for those cues here. Okay. Love the track that you used for the bathroom break. What did you use for the beat? It was amazing. So that that particular beat was from Epidemic Sound. So I make beats too, but that particular beat, just because we're trying to get something together really quick, that particular beat is from Epidemic Sound. I've got a link to them in the description too, I think. But with that link that's down in the description, I think you get like a 30-day free trial. But with them, basically how it works is you can use their music. You just have to be subscribed at the time of publish of that video. But then after you publish the video, then after that, then you can cancel your subscription. But then since you published it while you were a paying member, then that can live on YouTube indefinitely. But yeah, it's an awesome beat. That's why we chose it. But yeah, I agree. But they have tons of just awesome soundtracks in there. Is TikTok good for my YouTube channel? So if you are a content creator and you're struggling with YouTube, try TikTok just to see if you get better results over on TikTok. In terms of it being good for your YouTube channel, it can be good for your brand. And, you know, there can be people that come over for your YouTube channel as well. But at the end of the day, like, you know, you're making content and you just have to figure out what the best place is, you know, for the people that you're trying to reach, like where you can, you know, add the most value for the people that you're trying to reach. Let's see here. Absolutely. Yeah. Modified things here for the new setup. So basically moved the main thing back there with the big monster screen and all that, moved all that back there for productivity, moved this up here for productivity. Actually, this was over there, but then I moved everything over this way and just kind of redid the setup for the sake of making this like a content station or a content desk, just to make it just more efficient to make content faster on a regular basis without headache, you know, all that good stuff. Let's see here. I think that track, actually, I think the name of that track is called Juggernaut. So if you're on Epidemic Sound and you're looking for that track, I think it's called Juggernaut. Let's see here. I'll only reveal my voice when I hit 1,000 subscribers. So that's interesting. Like, that's fine. But, you know, like it might take your voice to get you to 1,000 subscribers. So keep that in mind too. Let's see here. It might get you to 1,000 subscribers faster. So just kind of scrolling down here, seeing what you guys are saying. Hey, thanks for sharing that link. I appreciate it, Chantel. Is your Cyber Monday list of deals still active, or did I miss that boat? Some of them are still active, so if you still have access to that doc, the stream is unlisted, but if you still have access to that doc that I shared during that stream, then some of them are still active, some of them are not. I just recommend that for the ones that you are interested in, you just right-click them, you know, open them up, and then just go through the process of seeing if they are still active. Let's see here. Fit Dad Chris says, in your next rap, you guys should use super or sound effects from the show. Spin up the super chat and intro with your welcome to the Nimminati. Yeah, so basically, kind of derailing here, but basically, like I mentioned before, like I've got like a handful of different ideas for different things I'm going to do for the break. I'm not sure if I'll ever make them or not, because it's just stuff that I'll do, you know, just when I have extra time. But like, for example, one of them, it's something along the lines of like, I need to step away. I need to take a break, maybe coffee, maybe tea. Either way, I hope you wait. That's one of them. And then I've got another one that's like, get views, get subs, make money, have fun. And then it just kind of like repeats through that, you know, a little bit with some like effects on it and all that. But anyway, like I've got, you know, some of those things that I've already got like written down and kind of planned, so that if I have the time to, you know, to do them, if I'm just kind of feeling that, then I can make those. Cause I just think it'd be fun to make just like corny break videos. So if I need to take a break or something, or, you know, go grab a water or refill a coffee or something, that I can just do it and still keep you entertained in the process. Let's see here. Roberto Blake says that his deal, to answer the question earlier, his deal for the Cyber Monday is active until the end of the year. So really good deal there. And just as a heads up for everybody here, just in case you're not familiar with that, Roberto Blake, if you're interested in his YouTube starter kit, where he's got like hundreds of thumbnails and like video ideas and all this other stuff, and his brand kit, his branding starter kit for people that are interested in getting brand deals and knowing all the stuff that you need to do and having a media kit and all that stuff. He has a half off promotion on both of those going through the end of the year. So they're normally $100 each. You get them for $50 each for whichever one you decide, or for both. So so just as a heads up, you can find that if you just go to awesomecreatoracademy.com. Then I think from there you should be able to see what it is that you need. Roberto, I think you're a mod. You should be. So feel free to just drop the links to those in here as well. Doug said he found the track. So, okay, so that was the right one. That was the deal, the one that I just mentioned for Roberto. Let's see here. So the details on his deal, I just mentioned the details there, Penny. So basically, the code, you have to put in the code SAVE50 for Roberto's deal there. So how do you go about looking for sponsors for your channel? I want to try, but not sure how to start. So what you want to think about is you want to think about who's a great fit for your audience. So, there's a certain, type of person that's watching your content. So you want to think about who's a great fit for that. What I recommend when you're first getting started is that first you actually try to sell something as an affiliate. If you try to sell something as an affiliate, then you can figure out what converts for your audience and what doesn't. And then once you get that information, then you can actually present the companies that you're reaching out to when you're doing your outreach. You can present them with, hey, I promoted these things as an affiliate and I was able to get this many clicks on these things, because the actual conversions will come down to the whoever it is you're sending the traffic to. But you can say, hey, these, like I was bringing attention to these, and this is how many clicks I was able to generate for these particular companies. And if you can get the conversion info in there, that's a bonus. But by promoting something as an affiliate, then you can figure out how to get people to click on your stuff the most in terms of your links, and you can also figure out what's a good fit for the people that are watching your videos. So I recommend you start there if possible, as long as your content type supports it. But I would start there if possible. And then from there, once you get a little bit of information back on what works and what doesn't, or you can, just have some type of click information, then that's when you start doing your actual outreach. Let's see here. Putting that up there just for a reminder for anybody that's taking advantage of Roberto's deals that he has going on. Okay, next up, I'm going to pull this one from the form itself here. Let me click on this here to make sure. Total super events, 39. So yeah, I think I'm going to refresh that again just to make sure. And then the next question, I'm actually going to pull this one out of the forum, and then we're going to jump back over to the chat here. So the next question that we have here on the forum is from, we already answered that one from the real estate and the Spanish one. So next we've got Tubebuddy. And the question is, they do environmental scientific research in eco communities. The goal of the channel is bringing attention to our community, creators, and content about the research going on in our community. Question, what is the best way to launch a shorts video as a premiere, instant premiere, or just make it public instantly? Does it make a difference with shorts as it can be full-length content? So yeah, so if it's short, then you need to make sure that it's under 60 seconds. And I would upload it on your phone and through Shorts. Basically just clicking on the plus icon at the bottom of your YouTube app and choosing to create a short. That's what I would do. And basically just upload it directly from your phone. And just, fill out all the information for it in terms of your title, description, all that good stuff, and then just let it out there into the universe. So now we are going to, and Roberto just put the link to his brand deal starter kit here. And he can also feel free to drop the link to the starter kit, which I think he just did as well. For anybody interested in that, that's the direct link to that. And again, half off of everything. So let's see here. Camera and lights am I using? So for this setup, the lights, this is a Godex SL60. This is a Godex XL60. This is a Godex, I'm not sure, it's just like a little LED panel. But both of these 60s have different attachments on the front of them. As you can see, this one has a big dome on it with a grid. This one has a beauty dish on it so that it's coming down just a little bit, soft. So it's not just like nailing me, so that it just kind of Like, for example, like anybody that wears glasses, you got to worry about like shadows, you know, from your frames and stuff like that. So using these particular lights just helps reduce those and make those not as harsh. Like they're there, but it just makes them, you know, reduces them and makes them not as harsh. And they're up high so that I can sit here and talk to the camera and I don't have a bunch of, you know, glare coming into the glasses when I move around stuff, because I tend to be animated sometimes. So, so there's that for the lights. And when it comes to the cameras, this is a Sony a6500 with a Sigma 16 millimeter 1.4 lens. This is a Sony a6500 with a 16 millimeter 1.4 lens. This is a Sony a6500 with a 35 millimeter 1.8 lens. And this is a Canon 90D with a 10 to 18 millimeter Canon lens on that particular one. And then for the rest of the setup here, just in case you're wondering, the thing that I use to do the camera switching automatically for me is an A10 Mini Pro ISO. And the thing that I use to trigger sound effects and that kind of stuff is a, and just to process my audio on the fly, is a Rodecaster. It's a product by Rode. And it allows up to like 4 microphones, sound effects, all that good stuff. And then the microphone itself that I'm using is a Shure SM7B for this microphone. And then for this one actually is on right now, but I foolishly haven't recorded anything during the stream. It's just out of my workflow, but I'll get them next time. But this microphone is a Rode NTG3. And it's running through a Tascam audio recorder that is also plugged directly into the camera as well. So if I decide, like right now, if I hit this and I want to record a video, then right now I have the audio or the video recording right here. So basically the video is recording what it is that you're seeing right now. And then of course, this is picking up the audio for that, so that if I want to, when I'm making these streams, I can also record content as well during the streams, or just in this setup, I can just sit down and do it that way. Had to turn that off real quick. Okay. So, Penny Morgan says, which lens is the best? So that's a great question. And when it comes to which lens is the best, it really comes down to what it is that you're using it for. So, I'll tell you the reason that I chose the lenses that I have. So I chose this particular lens because of the low light capability and the depth of field. So since it is a 1.4 lens, that means that it's going to focus in on me. It's going to make the stuff in the background like really blurred out. And the closer that I get, the more that it blurs out the background, right? So that's why I chose that lens. But in addition to that, it's a low light lens because it's a 1.4. So since it's a 1.4, that means that I don't have to turn my lights up that bright, and it still makes everything look nice and bright, and you can see, you know, everything clearly and all of that. And it allows me to still keep everything darker in the background because these lights aren't as bright. So since everything's not as bright, it allows me to just kind of control the look of the room a little bit better, because it does give me that option to just open it up more and have that lower light. Now with the 35 millimeter lens, it's here in the back. Same exact thing with that. I am using that lens on that camera because I want that far shot coming in from here. And if I were to use this 16 millimeter lens that's really wide, it would just be like a really wide shot and you wouldn't really see the detail. So because of that, that's why I'm using that particular lens. And that brings me to another thing, which is why I have this lens, is it is a wide angle lens. So like, for example, you can see here how wide this is in terms of, you know, my hands, how much I can fit into this particular shot. And the thing that I want to bring to your attention here is you might think like, hey, you know, that it must be, the camera must be pretty far away to be able to, you know, cover that much space. But in reality, as you can see right here, the camera, I can just reach up and touch it. So like, that's how close the camera is with this. So that wide angle lens, it just opens up the shot, but I can still keep the camera really close. So if I want to, you know, show you the details of something while I'm streaming or in a video, I can just, you know, hold it up to the screen and then you can see the details without any issues. So in terms of what's the best, it really comes down to what it is that you're using it for, what's best for the setup that you have or for the shots that you're trying to get. Let's see here. Okay. So, did you start making YouTube videos on your smartphone or did you buy a camera? Yeah, I got a camera first, because like when I came onto it, I was like, if I'm gonna do this, if I'm gonna give it a shot, I'm gonna give it a shot, right? So I'm gonna give myself the best possible chance for success, even though I didn't know what I was doing when I was starting. I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna give myself the best possible chance to succeed. And one of the things that will help me do that, at least at that point in time, because keep in mind, I've been on YouTube for 7 years, so the smartphone technology then isn't what it is now. So it was still good. Like you could still totally grow channels on a phone and all that, but it just wasn't the same. So, so because of that, I was like, hey, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to come to play. So since I'm coming to play, I'm going to at least make sure that, you know, everything looks good, sounds good, and all of that stuff. But I do want to let you know that when it comes to making YouTube videos now, because of smartphones, like you can do awesome just with a phone. I have a friend of mine. He makes content here in Thailand. He has a YouTube channel called Retired Working for You. He's got, I think, 170,000 subscribers on the channel now. And he got his first 100,000 subscribers just using his iPhone. And with that, he no microphone, nothing, just using this. Since then, he's upgraded, and now he has a lavalier mic that he plugs into his phone, but he still uses his phone for his main camera. And now he has somebody that will help him with his footage as well. And that person will actually get some drone shots for him while he's doing stuff too. So he's leveled it up just a little bit, but at the core, he's still using his phone for most of the main content. All right. OD Studios. What's up, buddy? I'm doing great. Thank you. Says regards from London. Nice to see you in here. Regards from Thailand. Let's see here. So next up on our list here says, I bought the GoPro, most recent one. It tends to overheat and shut off. Do you recommend me getting an older model, as I've heard they don't overheat as much? I'm not sure. With the GoPros, I have one too. I actually have one as an overhead cam, which I don't have hooked up right now. But with the GoPros, they can be great for cameras, and a lot of people use them as, you know, their main camera to make content. But if you are finding that it's overheating and things like that, one thing that might help you with that is actually just, you know, turning it off and just give it like a couple of minutes of break before you turn it back on and, you know, continue making content. Other things that you can do if you like love the camera in terms of like, you know, that super wide angle and stuff like that. If you do like that part of it, then you can get like an actual recorder that you could connect to it, to where you could HDMI out of the GoPro into the recorder, something like a Ninja Atmos or something like that. It's expensive, but you can do it, to where you go out into that and you actually do the recording on that device. And then that way your GoPro is just on and it won't overheat because it's not recording. And then you do the recording in the external device. So you can do that sort of thing too. So with all of that, I want to thank everybody for hanging out here on the stream today. We're getting ready to go into chill mode, and chill mode here is a little bit different than it was on the other one, because I don't have the projector to where I can put that very specific screen on in the background. But basically what chill mode is, for those of you that are not familiar with that, is we basically just play some music. And while we are playing some music, man, my browser's all weird over there. Huh, interesting. Yeah, maybe I'll just open another tab, run this side, close that whole thing down. But basically, what chill mode is that gives me time to, you know, go in and add, you know, any members that have joined in the Facebook group, stuff like that. Sometimes I'll come back on. We've looked every now and then. We'll look at a channel or something like that. Other times we'll just close it down. Just kind of depends on the vibe once all that stuff's done. But as of right now, we're getting ready to go into chill mode. But I do want to let you know that that if you are new to this live stream and you're new to YouTube, and a lot of the information that you've heard today is like, you know, overwhelming, or you're thinking like, man, I got so much stuff I got to do, I just encourage you to focus on like a thing or two, because there is a lot of stuff to learn. There is a learning curve that you have to go through when it comes to being a content creator. So because of that, I recommend that you pick a thing or two, and that you just focus on trying to improve that thing or two over the next week. And then I'll see you here next Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern, where you can learn more and then just keep applying it. Or you just take a bunch of notes, just apply things over time, and then, you know, stop back in next month or something like that. But I live stream here 9 a.m. every week, with the exception of, you know, every now and then, like this week, I came in at like 9:30 just because I was doing some last minute testing before we went live. But 9 a.m. Eastern next week. Hope to see you there. And thank you everybody so much for hanging out, and I will see you next week. So now I'm going to go into chill mode right here as I get Epidemic Sound pulled up. because that's where the music is going to come from today that I'm going to be sharing while we are in chill mode. So let me go into here. Let me look for something good to listen to. And let's just go into that's not really going to do it, I don't think. Let's go into what do we want to listen to? No, let's just click into this. Let's just kind of see how it goes. Chill mode commencing. I don't know if you hear that. Can you hear that on your end? Is it coming through? Okay, volume's up there. Yeah, let me know if that's coming through. I see it reading here. I'm just not 100% sure if it's coming through. Okay, it's not coming through? Okay. Hold on, let me turn off my mix minus and see if it'll come through there. Okay, is it coming through now? How about now? How about now? Tammy White's like, just got here for chill mode. Okay, no music still. Okay. Yeah, we might have to revisit that one then at another time. So, so I need to figure that out here on my end for the music, because I did not. That's one thing that I actually didn't do for here. No music. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, choose your output device. Now you'll hear it. All right, so now we're commencing chill mode. That one feels a little bit better. Definitely more chill than the other. Hey, it's a great question, and it's a unique question. So I want to take a moment and answer this question really quick. If you're still in here, met on Bluetooth. So here, let me turn this down to the pad. Excuse me. So when it comes to inboxes, here's what I recommend. So you're saying that you are having trouble because a lot of your audience messages you for questions and simple concerns. Yeah, I'm right there with you. So my inboxes everywhere just get decimated because of the type of content that I make. So what you want to do is you want to create a public facing email. That email is the one that you connect to your About Me page on your YouTube channel for your business inquiry. So that's number one, right? You want to make sure that you create that email. And then you want to create, that's your public facing email. So that particular email is the one that, if you have brands reaching out to you, they're going to reach out. If you have your audience reaching out, like they're all going to go there. That's also the email that if you share your email publicly anywhere, if you are doing a screen recording, you're going to have to show your email or something and you don't want to blur it out. That's the email that you show, that kind of stuff. But that's your public facing email. Mine is asknimmin.com. So that particular email, anybody can send an email to that. I can say it publicly, doesn't matter. And that's one of the email accounts that I have. And that's the one that, mostly gets bombarded. Now, then you also have your YouTube channel email address. That's the one that's connected to your YouTube channel. That's the one that you want to keep the most secure because of course that's the most important one. Then you have your VIP mail. This is what I have anyway. With the VIP mail, that's the one to where if somebody is like, let's say that a sponsor reaches out and I find that particular sponsor we went through the initial communication process and that person is going to we're at least going to have the conversation about, sponsoring content, then that person will get moved into the VIP email. And that email is the email that I check the most frequently. Same exact thing goes like if somebody reaches out and they, need help with something and we end up, having that conversation, VIP email. If it's a friend or, somebody that I meet somewhere, I give them that VIP email. So basically how it ends up working out is the initial emails come in through the public facing email and then you sort them from there, right? And then of course from there, from your VIP, then of course you have your actual personal email, which is the one to where you like really close friends and, like to where it kind of crosses that line between like business and your, and I guess it's regular life. I don't know what you would call that, but anyway, where it crosses that line, then in that case, those people would be then moved over to that email, or you can just keep them in VIP and keep your, your other email for other things. But that's basically how you want to structure things, or at least that's what I've found to be the best way for me to be able to manage, a lot of outreach as well. Great question. I'm going to go check that right now, my man. Thank you. I'm like super excited to open this zip file. I've never been so excited to open a zip file in my life. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, showing folder. Nice. Dude, thank you. Let's see here. All right, so that was so good. I want to hear this with headphones on. So Travis, he sent me a file here, and I wanted to play this just so I can hear like the full detail of it. So you guys are gonna get to hear it too.
Welcome to the chill mode.
Yeah.
Welcome to the chill mode.
Ooh.
Welcome to the Nimminati chill mode.
Love it. Awesome. Oh, it looks like there was one more. Hold on.
Welcome to chill mode.
Nice. So good. Yep. I'll have a backing track to that one, like ASAP. Yeah, that'll be in next stream. Thank you so much for that, dude. I appreciate it. Thank you. Absolutely love it. Yep. So now, yeah. So we'll have a little bit of backing music to that and all of that for chill mode too. Hey, D Nimmin in the house. What's up, bro? Hope you're doing awesome. Nice to see you in here. So you got to keep an eye on D, right? He's like in the background, like lurking, doesn't tell anybody. He's just kind of back there, lurking around, hanging out in the shadows of the stream over in the corner. Oh. Yeah, it's so good. So good. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. So everybody have a awesome rest of your week. Have an awesome weekend, I guess it would be. And again, I'll see you Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern next week. And besides that, have an awesome rest of your week. Thank you for hanging out. And I will see you next time.